AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
In today's episode of Backpack Radio, presented by The Trek, we are joined by Kenneth Pereiro, known on the trail as Moron. This is a podcast we've been wanting to make happen for several years now, and let me tell you, it doesn't disappoint. Moron is a thru-hiker, long-distance cyclist, philosopher, hopeless romantic, futurist, and most importantly, just a real solid hang. We learn about why he's all in on AI, as evidenced by him riding cross-country, rocking his Meta AI glasses, why he quit his corporate tech job to more permanently pursue adventure and experience, how he completed one AT thru hike and quit another just a couple hundred miles from the finish, turning it into an extended road walk to the Canadian border, only to turn around for some more road walking and eventually an extended bike ride, and how he plans his adventuring essentially one day at a time, letting fate largely guide his next move. We wrap the show with tips for safe and steamy tent sex, a contentious debate about using gas station bathrooms exclusively for a year for $1 million, and the triple crown of people we just don't understand. But first, if you've listened to Backpack Radio, you know that both Chauncey and I are big fans of Gossamer Gear, manufacturers of lightweight backpacking gear and accessories. Chauncey and I both rock Gossamer Gear on trail and have put in thousands of miles using their packs. I love the Mariposa and the Gorilla. Chauncey has been rocking the Kumo. Shelters, the one is the one you need, as you already know, and accessories. Their Light Trek hiking umbrella goes with me every time I step foot onto the trail in the desert. But today, let's chat about Gossamer Gear's Type 2 collection. I've had the chance to test a couple of these Type 2 packs, including the Scala 38 on the full Tour de Mont Blanc, and let me tell you, this pack is awesome. It's lightweight, coming in at under 21 ounces with the detachable fast belt and sit-light pad. It's versatile with its roll top closure that can be fastened at the top or down the sides. And the stretchy shoulder strap pockets are everything I've dreamed of, big enough to fit your smartphone, a gaggle of snacks, your satellite communicator, you name it. It wears comfortably. The sit-light pad enhances every break. The external zipper pocket means your keys will stay with you even during the most epic of wipeouts. And I could go on. If you're in the market for a new day pack or fast pack, head to gossamergear.com and check out their new Type 2 series. Again, that's gossamergear.com. Their Type 2 series is the best. We can sit here and tell you that Sawyer makes the best water filters and bug repellents for backpackers and outdoor enthusiasts, because they do. But instead, let's talk about all the good they do. When Hurricane Helene devastated the southeastern U.S. last fall, Sawyer donated over $500,000 worth of water filters, repellents, and sunscreens. In total, 89,000 Sawyer filters were distributed by organizations on the ground to help communities in need. Their nonprofit, the Sawyer Foundation, also partners with charities worldwide who deliver point-of-use filters to people impacted by natural disasters and other crises. So the next time you pick up a Sawyer product, know that you're part of something bigger, bringing clean water to those who need it, both here and abroad. And while you're at it, check out their new collab with CNOC, the Sawyer Squeeze paired with a branded premium 2-liter bladder, an extra durable TPU bag with the world's most reliable filter. What's not to love? Forget Travis and Taylor or Chauncey and Garrett. This is the marriage we've all been waiting for. Welcome to Backpack Radio, presented by The Trek. I am your co-host, Zach Badger Davis. Sitting to my right is...
I am Juliana Chauncey, a.k.a. Chaunce.
Reminders, yes, a few. If you're listening to this and you're taking on a long-distance trek next year, we would love for you to be a part of the Trek blogging team. A few of the highlights of being a part of our squad: you get discounts to some of the best brands in backpacking. You get access to a private chat group. not only for your specific trail, but also all Trek bloggers. And we're going to fly out one Trek blogger to join us here on the podcast. We'll fly you out, put you up for a night, have a good chat, all that stuff. We're getting very close to confirming this year's. We have
Did
a
they
week.
answer your email?
Yes, we have a week confirmed. It's just a matter of getting the exact date. So,
Can we say?
we want to keep the suspense until we're there, but it'll be first week of November.
This is so mysterious.
I know. I'm very mysterious. We'll run that back in 2026. Next but not leastly, that's the saying, right?
Mm-hmm. So they say it.
You guys want to support us, go to patreon.com/backpackerradio. Obviously, not only are you doing us a great kindness, but you can get every episode of the show ad-free. If you're the sort of person that wants to not get awesome gear ads, patreon.com/backpackerradio.
Yes, and I know I say this every time, but it really does help us do more. It's really, really nice to have a budget that we can use from Patreon to do things like we want to do micro trips to places to be able to record with different guests, or like we did in Austin. And even though that was like a relatively quick trip, or PCT days, which was a relatively quick trip, it is nice to be able to do some of that stuff and not have to rely on whether or not we can find an advertiser. So if you do enjoy when we get to do stuff like that and get to bring you new guests from those avenues, being a Patreon is a way to ensure that we can do more of that without having to, play that corporate game.
Yeah. Well said. Patreon.com/backpackerradio. Last but not least, we say this one on every episode, but it's always buried at the end. And we're going to get it at the top. If you guys enjoy this podcast and you want to watch the podcast, go to Backpacker Radio on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, care.
Yes, we just hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Nice.
Yay us. Thank you, Elise, for sharing that power stat today.
Let's go.
So if you're not on there yet, ask yourself, what are 4,000 people getting that I'm not, that I possibly could be if I just, went over there and checked it out. Things that you will see, I cut my hair off. It is a bob. It is just below my ears. I'm wearing a hat. You'll see the progression on the last episode. It was a little longer of a bob. The guy who cut it kind of made it look like a mullet. So I went and I got it fixed, and now it is.
Wait, it's shorter?
Yeah, it's all one length.
Oh,
so the mullet part's gone. However, it was still very heavy and wide, so they did bangs this time around, and those look terrible. So those are pushed back with the hat on. I think I'm gonna be a hat for a while.
Hey, join the club, girl.
Yeah. So if you want to see my bob, you can do that on YouTube. If you want to see the heat pad that I'm currently pressing against my uterus, you could see that on YouTube. If you,
I think technically they can't, but I can tell them about it.
If you zoomed, you might. You could see us all in fun patterns.
We do have cool shirts.
Well, I'm on the pant portion, but we are all patterned. I just showed a toe. YouTube.com.
You can get the wonderful array of chemicals that our guest is going to be experiencing as he goes through today's interviews.
Indeed.
Yeah, this is a little Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I like to organize things, and
They're all by height. Is that intentional?
It is intentional. Yeah, I mean it's not exactly proper. I think I could probably. I like.
No,
this
I
in the
like
middle.
those standing. I think that works. It's creative.
Yeah. It's just everything can kind of flow into the center point. Yes, thank
Don't
you.
move your head. Move the mic.
Move the mic. It's like a bidet. You gotta move your body.
It?
Yes. For me personally, I love bidets.
Do you have one at home?
I have one with me.
But you don't move your body. You
got
move the
backup for
bidet.
bidet.
Yes. And with this cycling mirror too. That was one of the barriers to entry because I was like, at least for stationary bidets, it's kind of more intuitive. I think the one I have is like a happy bottom, and you have to kind of move. It's an orchestration, in order to use it properly, and to properly use it, I guess I'm kind of conflating two different types of bidets because I realize the ones that are stationary connected to the toilet, you have to move your body to find the stream.
Okay.
And so maybe I rescind this comment now that I think about the mechanics of it.
What is the go-to stance for the backcountry bidet?
Kind of like the tree hugger thing, like it's definitely squatting for sure.
Okay.
I haven't actually been using the natural bathroom. I haven't been using nature as my bathroom because I've been biking and I've been able to go to towns and cities and kind of getting spoiled. But I love my bidet. I think it's a game changer for hiking and biking. I like, just at any given time, how often can you say that like your butt is your cleanest part of your body? Especially if you're
0% of my life.
yeah, and you don't have to carry toilet paper if there is an emergency. I've been an evangelist for very few things in my life, but the bidet is certainly one of them. Yeah, I love it.
Well, I hope you stick around for segments because that'll parlay perfectly with today's question of the day. But let's do a quick intro because that's the most guest talk we've had pre-intro. So let's just jump right into it.
Oops.
You recognize the name already if you've listened to Trail Correspondence. It's Kenneth Moron Pereiro. He loves problem solving and endurance pursuits. Since 2017, Moron has been chasing long-distance adventures by bike and on foot, from a 10-day ride from Atlanta to New York City to through hiking the AT twice and pedaling the Trans-America route. His path has wound through van life, cross-country treks, and even working on a horse farm, which proved tougher than any trail. Most recently, he has biked from Georgia to Colorado to be on this very podcast. I also got a note that you wrote that intro.
I did.
You're definitely the first guest to have written his own intro. I guess maybe Rachel has been on the podcast.
It was a request.
Technically, any intro that Rachel pulls off someone's website.
I thought she was custom whipping stuff together.
She does, but every now and then.
She'll take liberties? Are we throwing her under the bus right now?
No. I'm saying like every now and then if someone has a good intro on their website, like sometimes that
it's hard to beat.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time we've gotten a note that specifically the guest wrote the intro, so thank you for that. He's Moron. You know his voice.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah. Should I give the Sawyer fun facts on this one?
I've got to find it. Where is it?
Oh, no, it's not anything in the show notes. The fun fact is that Sawyer doesn't need any additional press, but Travis at Sawyer said that the next time that he would advertise is when we get Moron on the podcast. Yes. So he did make good on that.
An honor and a privilege.
Shout out to Sawyer.
So when you hear the Sawyer ad on this, if you're not a Patreon listener, listen to it in full.
Yeah.
They have great stuff.
For sure.
They really do.
Where do we start? I want to start with You're Sober. You're Off the Sauce.
Yeah.
What kickstarted that?
Well, I love podcasts, and one of the things I listen to a lot of health, fitness, optimization, and also like psychological better living through meditation and awareness. And it seems like every single guest that I have listened to within the past year, unfortunately, it's like the first thing that they say is that like they don't drink and
their lives got better as soon as they stopped drinking.
Yeah. And I was like, I always would just write that off as like something for me. I'm like, well, I mean, I see the merit there, but I felt like I could kind of square the circle by just doing more exercise or trying to be healthier in other places.
Sure.
But after, I guess I was kind of like bullied into it just from afar, like remotely.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing it, and my sleep improved so much.
Do you wear like a Oura ring or a Whoop or anything like that?
I wore a Garmin watch for a while, but it would really like upset me with what it would say. And there's a lot of research about like how much more like giving people fake results from wearables like will impact how you perceive the rest of your day.
This is gonna be such a fun episode.
Yeah. So the concept of the nocebo. So like if your Whoop score tells you that you had a bad night's sleep, you will psych yourself out into thinking that you're not capable of like going through the day.
Yeah.
Even if the result is not always perfectly accurate. So like it's possible that it's giving you a negative sleep score and like you're actually pretty well recovered, but because you see the score as being bad, you nocebo yourself into having a bad day.
Yeah, it's like biological doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, I don't like wearing my Apple Watch. A, I don't like the notifications, but B, I find the activity rings to be very easy to obsess over.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree also if I see my activity rings and they're low and it's like already the afternoon, it's like, well, what's the point today? I'm not going to hit them anyway.
Right.
Versus if I didn't have them, I was like, oh, maybe I'll go for a walk. I wouldn't know if I'm nowhere near hitting it. This is all very topical because I'm almost at my savings bucket, #Betterment, for my Oura ring. So this is something that's going to be a purchase of mine in the near future. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen some things on YouTube about like even just tracking how accurate all of the scores are, and among like it's nice if something is at least consistently inaccurate. But again, with the Garmin watches too, I would get these notifications that I was like stressed and that I needed to relax. And then I would freak out because I was like, I thought I was doing all right.
Yeah.
Like I felt perfectly fine. My heart rate wasn't elevated. I don't know what algorithm you guys are using, but I'm a hypochondriac and now you got me all like wound up,
Yeah.
Yeah. It winds me up when it tells me to stand up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, like I'm at a desk. It's my 9 to 5. Like don't you think I would love to go outside?
Right. Right.
John's having a fight with her watch. So how long have you been off the sauce?
2 months.
And?
And I feel great. So I feel like, and I want to caveat this heavily by saying, because I've heard it put perfectly, that like anyone touting the virtues of sobriety is just as obnoxious as a fall down drunk. So I don't think that there's like a lot to be said per se. But for me, the things that I feel like I've gotten from being sober are way better than what I had when I could get drunk. Just really the ability to wake up immediately and start moving. Like,
Yeah.
it would feel like it would take me hours to kind of, and I didn't drink like a lot, but I frequently drank. My relationship with alcohol was kind of like role modeled from my family, that like it's something to wind down in the evening.
Sure.
And I've always had that kind of relationship with it. But I think it would just, I wouldn't end up drinking enough water to balance the food that I had eaten. And I think that was where the sleep part came in. And then I had insomnia for years. And all of that seems to be kind of, as I've aged, I think my body just kind of sucks at, metabolizing all of these things. And so taking a break, at least at this point in my life, which is about, I started drinking when I was 18. So like I'm turning 36 this year, and it would have been half of my life that I've been drinking. And so it seemed like something to look at,
So your sleep is perfect now.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because there's really no way to quantify it other than just the experience.
Sure.
But like, so since I've been in Golden, and I think I could probably say this now without it being problematic, but I've been sleeping behind a pit toilet at the Mount Glybrith or whatever. Galbraith.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping behind that pit toilet.
Wait, did you lie to us when you said you were at the campsite?
No, I did do that because I saw the rain coming in, but I've been like cowboy camping behind it, which is a little stinky, but also like perfect. It's such a nice spot. Like I think if you changed a few things around there, you could probably make people pay to sleep there.
How long have you been in Golden camping behind a pit toilet?
I've been in Golden since Wednesday, and I've been camping behind that toilet for it was 4 days, but then I also kind of camped in another trail in between here and Boulder, the Flint Hills, or not Flint Hills, but I don't even remember what it was called. Iron Flats. It's
Flatirons?
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So camped over there as well, cowboy camping, just like getting there like after dark and then getting up at like 5:30 every single day. But at the pit toilet specifically, I've been waking up anytime whoever is the first person to show up arrives. And I wake up with a start. I say like, oh shit. And I have to like throw all my stuff on my bike and start packing up. And
I imagine in Golden, that's pretty early. Like we have enough psychos out here that are like pre-sunrise, let's go set a FKT.
Yeah, definitely.
Has that been the experience?
Well, these have seemed like retired people who are just coming out with their dogs. And thankfully, I have not been caught yet, but it's like, that's actually another thing about the whole sleep thing, is that I feel like maybe contrary to some of the things that I have heard, I wonder, because I've like woken up with an adrenaline rush, but it's been amazing, because then I would just go hike that mountain that's right there, the Galbraith. Yeah. So starting the day with like a 3-mile hike in the dark, but not feeling like any worse for wear. And I've done that so many times on trails, like waking up and just kind of realizing that I was like probably a little bit hungover for like 5 years at least. And that just seemed to really, it reduced my quality of life by maybe I want to say 25%, but that's probably hyperbolic, maybe 10%.
Yeah.
I love how non-exaggerating the percents are. Like, that he's genuinely put thought into this percentage he's given. Do you want to like sleep on an air mattress for a couple nights? I've got like space in the shower.
I appreciate that. I feel like I'm at like the Hilton Head Hotel or whatever. I think that's
if you change your mind, you have my number.
Well, I do. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
you're more than welcome.
I'm really bad at accepting kindness.
I can give you some yard work to do if it like makes it feel doable.
That would be the only way.
It would really help me. My landlord's coming this weekend.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to come home with me, and I'll put your bike in my car, and I'll give you a place to stay and make you some meals, and you could just like tidy up the garden.
Well, let me think about that.
That makes you feel good about it.
Because I'm only staying at the place, the campground, until the 30th, and then I was actually, I don't know if the Rockies are going to be passable on the bike.
Sure.
It looks like more rain's coming through, so let me
take a few days off.
Yeah, let me put let's circle back.
Okay.
EOD style.
I'll make it worth your while, but I'll make it worth your while, but I'll also make it where you won't feel guilt.
Okay.
Yeah, just like some light fruiting.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a pitch to say no to.
I don't want to do it.
I'm conflicted. Do we keep going down the sobriety route? You mentioned that the Rockies are going to be not passable here shortly. what are you up to? Obviously, we got from your intro that you rode your bike here from Atlanta.
Yeah. So, working with y'all for the past couple years in and out, as like a contributor for Trek Correspondence and then actually running the show, there had been sort of that standing invitation to come out here and actually be interviewed. And I'd always fantasized about doing it for the past probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I was going to do it, I wanted to arrive by bike. Like this whole thing I've kind of like branded like the Long Errand. Like I basically will go and bike any amount of distance as long as I have one reason to do it. And so really this was this perfect timing.
What, aside from this podcast, what's the worst reason that you've had for a long bike ride?
That's a good question. Let me think. I mean, I have reflected. I used to ask my friends if they wanted anything, and then I would just go get whatever they wanted just to have like an excuse to have a mission.
Do you want a New York bagel?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be right back in like 3 weeks. Yeah, it'll taste great.
Yeah.
I love that. How long has this errand been?
I got into the Denver area, I think it was 25 days after leaving Atlanta, Georgia, and that was on the 19th of September. And then all progress kind of halted from there because I was way too early and way too eager, I think. I was doing not huge days, like somewhere between, I could do anything between like a 50 and a 100-mile day, depending on the day and the mission, really. I wanted to say earlier, this has been sort of like, I've been thinking about how this relates to the backpacking experience and things like that. And it does feel like my first instinct is to say that bikepacking is better qualitatively, but I know that that's not necessarily true because there's no accounting for taste. But I was telling Zach earlier, it's like it's an expansion pack on top of hiking because like I actually have not made any route to get here. I've made it up every single day, basically chasing cafes and McDonald's. And it's been a very freeing kind of like way to travel that is starkly different from anything on trail and also starkly different from some of the bike rides that I've done in the past, which were more formal and had like at least the guise of being like an official route. Like this has just been like catch as catch can every single day. And that kind of novelty is what I was kind of chasing. Like I wanted something like that.
When you're biking across the country, are there roads that are thumbs up and roads that are thumbs down? Like I imagine you can't be on like the interstate.
You actually can for some portions.
Can you?
Yeah, like 70 coming into Lyman, which is like far east Colorado, I guess. I love the wording and the phrasing for this, but I found this out when biking. I think it was in the desert. There's this thing called the Southern Tier, which goes from St. Augustine to San Diego, and I've done half of that. And some of the parts in Texas that it went through, it was like if there's not a the phrasing was so perfect, but basically if there's no other reasonable option, you're actually allowed to go on the interstate. And the interstate is actually the best because it's a huge shoulder. I love finding things. So like because of the volume of people going through those corridors, like you find a lot of things that people would never stop for because it's just like they're going 70 miles an hour. If their iPad was on top of their car, they're not going to notice or care or even know where it might have fallen off. And then I get to come along and grab it.
What's the best score that you've gotten?
Recently, here in Colorado, coming back from my friend's house, he lives, well, it's not Morrison proper, but he lives a little north of Morrison maybe. But I found a wallet, and it had no identification, no credit cards, no nothing, but $170 of cash. That's the most recent score that I was like, damn.
Yeah. You should put it on Facebook being like, does anyone claim this $170?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have gotten
I become real popular real quick. Yeah, for sure.
Did you know data brokers are making billions selling your personal information, usually without your consent? That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 U.S.-based support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
Yeah, damn, I'm so interested. So for you subjectively, bike packing is better than backpacking?
I would say so. Yeah.
And why?
I'm a lifelong cyclist. I don't really identify as a cyclist, but I have been doing it a lot. And
why do you not? How do you not?
I love the sentence, I'm a lifelong cyclist and I don't identify as a cyclist.
Yeah.
Combined.
Well,
how are you both?
Good question. Lil Wayne comes to mind. And he says, like, if you need a role model, you should have never been born. And I feel like with cycling, if I were to say, like, I'm a cyclist, it would mean that you could kind of pigeonhole me. Like, you could kind of like you would know what to expect from me as a person, maybe, which I think is crazy, that like your hobby could like define your essence necessarily. But like, I don't wear any of the stuff that cyclists wear. I'm wearing sandals. I've been biking in sandals, which is crazy. I never thought I'd do that.
Do they clip in?
No, these are just like some sandals I found like right when I wanted some, actually. And these are like the perfect ones. But I'm also wearing like women's clothes, not this awesome Sawyer shirt, but
It's unisex.
yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, like I just don't want to subscribe to anything that is like too specific. I also don't consider myself a hiker, for the record.
Well, talking about not pigeonholing yourself into one thing, this brings us back into the conversation that we had off air, which was we led up to it by saying how we intentionally don't want to have good conversations off air and then had a good conversation off air. This is all while you were in the bathroom. And we said, who is moron? And you said the better question is who isn't moron?
Ooh,
which actually ties very much into what you're saying, where you don't want to be moron is this. You want to be so many things that moron isn't a couple.
Yeah, like I think even beyond the awesome like anonymity that through hiking kind of provides you and that ability to take on this whole new persona, I feel like specifically this trip, where I'm going through places that people might not expect to see a cyclist at all, I get to be I'm trying to be like the best version of myself, you know, and like interacting with people in a meaningful way, because I'm like passing through their lives, and it's a novelty for them to see me, and it's a novelty for me to see them in very different ways. And I'm like really interested in those kind of interactions. And I guess I spend a lot of time thinking on the bike as well. And I'm a big fan of like Alan Watts and like thinking about your ego and who you are and how to kind of expand what you can tolerate, I guess, which is the physical part of these trips is a good way to expand what you can tolerate. But then also the mental part that comes in, the mental game is, you know, a big part of it, obviously, too. And yeah, so I guess like ego dissolution. So like more on the trail name, it's like, that was 2019 when I hiked the Appalachian Trail the first time. I wanted to seek out a trail name that was not congratulatory or anything cool. I wanted it to be as stupid as possible. And when moron came up in a conversation with somebody, I was like, I like that because that's like a practice of like humbling myself. And I definitely historically have been someone who thinks that they are right, even when I'm really just expressing an opinion, and kind of trying to be more and more aware of that to be able to basically interact with any kind of person, whether they're homeless, which is one of my favorite groups, or if they're like extremely wealthy, like just trying to find like a kernel of humanity that is shared. Because like I'm recreationally homeless right now, and some people, I get admiration from every side of the human spectrum, and it's just cool to be humble about that as much as possible and not feel too cool. So moron keeps me grounded. Yeah, he isn't anything or anyone. Yeah.
It's an idea.
He's an idea. Ephemeral. Yeah.
Talking about how the biking allows you to think more deeply, what's something that you've thought really deeply on recently?
And is it different than hiking?
I wouldn't say that it is different than hiking per se, although I guess maybe if you think that the environment plays a role, which I don't really, for me personally, don't think that it does. I try to kind of, I think I'm really in my head all the time, whether I'm on the road or in the woods. Always listening to music, like not really, I'm not super interested in interacting with nature per se. There's like not a lot of information, a lot of noise, and not so much signal there for me. I do like it because it's safer within reason, especially compared to cycling. But if I'm honest, I forgot the question.
Because I sidetracked it. What about cycling allows you to think deeply?
Oh, well, I honestly, in a really mechanical way, I think it's just the profusion of oxygenated blood. Like, I just think that, the whole thing about like aerobic exercise being really good for, again, staving off dementia and Alzheimer's. Basically, if you're on nicotine and you're aerobically active, like your brain is kind of working a little bit overtime, I guess, compared to if you were to be more so sedentary. So it's kind of like, I don't know, being at an oxygen bar, maybe like a little high from the endorphins and everything.
So what's one thing that you've thought deeply on?
Oh, well, when you say that, the first thing that comes to mind was like an actual practice of me going through and thinking about every girlfriend that I've had and saying like, if I were meeting someone and I didn't want to disparage this person who I know a lot about, what is the most charitable way that I would describe them as a person and how they affected my life positively? And like going through each person and seeing like what came out. Run
us through it. Don't use real names, but run us through it.
Have your relationships generally ended on good terms?
Most of them have.
Okay.
Yeah. Dang. Well, my first girlfriend, that was in college, and I had never had a girlfriend before that. Obviously, I had just said that, but even more so, like never even like had a experience with a woman at all. And so she, I thought, was like way out of my league and just very, very beautiful. And I was very appreciative that the universe basically brought her. I mean, I would have never even expected that I would be allowed to be with such a divine creature.
Wow.
Especially as my first girlfriend,
Yeah.
there was no ramp up towards like me feeling like I was competent in being a boyfriend, let alone like just the feeling of being with someone who I thought was just so breathtakingly beautiful.
I'll give that a check. I would receive that positively if someone said that about me in retrospect.
Basically calling her a deity. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's the highest compliment.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It felt that way.
Who's next?
Okay, next one. I only have 6, so this won't be too long of a list, and I'll try to be briefer unless we're stretching for time. But yeah, my second girlfriend, she was an amazing artist. She could do anything, like any medium, any dimensionality. Like if she wanted to make something, she just had to like look at it, and then she'd be able to create it. And that is actually what kind of attracted me to her to begin with, because she had good stick-to-itiveness. Like if she started a project, even if it took her months, which some of them did, like she would make looms and like, again, just anything you can imagine, anything that might be popular that you might see on Instagram or at that time, whatever that other thing was, not Etsy, but in any case, just an amazing artist, very, very skilled, able to do things with materials that I would never, ever be able to do. My part in that relationship was like, our kind of courting phase was, there was this thing called Free Art Friday Atlanta. And so she would make art and then we would go hide it around the city. And she would actually sit on my seat on the bike, and I would bike both of us around on one bike. And she would kind of like hold on to me, and we'd go do like a 20-mile ride like that. So
it's very romantic.
Yeah, it was romantic in that time. Yeah, the third girlfriend. And if you guys want me to stop this, please let me know. I don't know if this is like, if you actually want an exhaustive list, but
I'm having fun.
Okay, I mean, you can always cut it out too. The third girlfriend, she was like the most adventure-bound person I've ever known. It's very hard to get people to do things like this with you, especially if you already know them. I think it's easier to meet people who are already doing it and then kind of integrate them into your experience. But this person who I met in 2019, she and I have done most of the adventures that I listed together. She was a big part of like just making that endurable, because I had never done anything solo before, and only in like 2022 did I actually start to actually camp alone and spend more time with myself. So she made me less scared about doing things, and also just to put a cap on that, she, with relationships that came after her, I never actually realized the peace that she and I had. Like it was actually like probably one of the best relationships I've ever had. But I took it for granted at the time because I never realized that you could fight with your significant other until later.
Can I fast forward us?
Yes, please.
To the most recent one, because I want to give the context here. Because at Trail Days this year, I think you were in the middle of a breakup, and I think
that is true.
In the throes of battle.
Yes.
I'm curious to now see how you process that one.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, that ended more amicably. It kind of restarted. I mean, that was like a tumultuous kind of up and down as well. But yeah, for her, we're on good terms. I've talked to her on the phone. I sent her postcards and stuff like that. I don't know how much I should say about her, but suffice it to say, she is out training for something herself. And I guess, I mean, she was the strongest woman I've ever known physically. Like, she could definitely kick my ass. And I think it's just super cool to be with a woman who is shaped like that. Like, because it's obviously not a common experience for a woman to like outdo you in musculature. And she also asks the right questions, even if she doesn't necessarily have all of the answers, maybe that she wants to her satisfaction. The thing I liked about her most was how deep she was. And the fact that she had this physicality to her too. I was like, I saw myself in that, because I was like, she knew who Alan Watts was and like a lot of the philosophical stuff that I like as well, Carl Jung, and like looking at things from like a really deep archetypal level. I don't think I ever said anything to her that she was like, what are you talking about? Like, who is that Greek philosopher? Who is that? What is that book or whatever? I think she actually reads too, and writes. So she was a good one as well. Yeah.
Take me back to bike packing.
Yes.
So you mentioned something interesting, that for you, nature is a lot of noise without any signal.
Yeah.
Has that been true for you with all of your backpacking experiences? Like, you don't feel that sense of peace being in the backcountry?
Yeah, not per se. You know, like I met someone. I think I might be confusing this with somebody else, but I think it was at what's the name of that hostel outside of the Smokies? The Bear.
It's not Standing
Bear.
Standing Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met this guy, this really, really cool guy. I had an amazing conversation. He couldn't be more opposite to me. He was like a very devout Christian who had a family and stuff like that. And he said that atheists don't have any sense of awe. And I think that, like, functionally, I am an atheist in terms of like the major religions. I still definitely tap into spirituality, but again, going back to like the moron thing and not wanting to be a cyclist or a hiker, I also don't want to limit my spiritual experience or reality to any kind of rules or doctrine. And so for me, maybe, I don't know if that is tied into why nature doesn't really do it for me. I also have really only hiked on the East Coast primarily, so it's always been a tunnel, except for the Florida Trail, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I envy people who have like an emotional reaction, like at Katahdin, you know, like people who break down. And I was very curious if that would happen to me, if I would have like this weird like upwelling of emotional something. But honestly, that was just like the worst day for me on trail, because I was like, damn, it's over. Like I was just getting good at this. Like, you know, I really had kind of leaned into it pretty hard. So to me, it was just kind of disappointing. But yeah, in general, you know, again, no accounting for taste. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. It's just my experience. But yeah, nature, I like to go in and out of it, I suppose. I don't prefer it all the time.
Did you go into the AT with any sort of preconceived notion for how you would feel on a spiritual level with it? Like, did you go in thinking that you would find some spiritual nirvana or something?
I was open to it because it was going to be a novel situation that I just wasn't familiar with at all. And, you know, the one of my favorite things about the Appalachian Trail is just all the times you have to say yes to things, just because that's the path of least resistance and the path that will probably keep you going. Things you may not have wanted to do, you find yourself doing. People who you probably would have never chosen end up being like best friends and lovers and things like that. And yeah, spirituality. I mean, I gave God like a real good chance. Like when I was in high school, like it was whenever the Coldplay X and Y album came out, and I was really digging on it. And I was like, I went on a church retreat, and I was like, if God wants to enter my heart during this, like I'm giving him explicit permission. You know, consent's a big thing these days, and he did not open that door, even though I had it propped open. So, you know, not to say that was his only chance, but that was like the last time I made like a concerted effort towards spirituality. So not per se on the Appalachian Trail, but I was open to it if it were to happen, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess when people choose to do different hikes or different bike packing or different things, like the views have a lot to play into it. Like when you think about someone choosing, do I want to hike the AT or the PCT, or which trail do I want to do? it is considered like, okay, well, on the PCT, you've got these views, and the AT, you might have these things. What motivates you, and what drives your choosing process? Because I'm gathering it's not nature, but it is fun things like the tasks, like if I have an errand to run.
Yeah.
So I guess what is the driving factor that propels you to want to take on a challenge, and what do you think you get out of it?
I really just like moving through space. Like, I think I don't really like being stationary, and sometimes that requires going through nature. Sometimes that requires going through cities. But I really, really have been just cafe chasing, and like taking my days, like, maybe 3 concerted efforts to do like a 20 or a 30-mile push in between cities. And by the end of the day, you've made some pretty like substantial distance, and you've basically been chilling for as much as you wanted to, because it's like, 12 hours or so of daylight and a couple of cups of coffee and good food. And like every single time, I feel like it's kind of like an hour glass where like the sand just kind of runs out when I stop and take a break, and I can just kind of feel like, well, there's no, I call them needfuls. Like, there are no more needfuls to do. Like, I've got my food needfuls. I've checked my phone. All my gear has been repacked or whatever it is. My water's full. Like, I'm ready to keep going. So yeah, just kind of arbitrary decisions in the moment based on what I want and what I need. And whatever it takes to get there, I'll just find out when I get back on the road, basically.
Beyond caffeine and some good snacks, is there anything about cafes that pulls you? Like, is it that simple, or is there also the people watching?
Yeah, people watching, the people in general. I do think that, like, as opposed to like a bar, for instance, I feel like I could have a different kind of conversation with those people if the vibes are good. I try to like try to read the room and interact with people in whatever depth or level they might want to meet me at. And so I'm definitely always happy to have conversations and meet people and hear about their life, probably most importantly, and tell them some details about mine and just have that shared. I think that's kind of what fills up like a different kind of cup, like an internal kind of the social cup or whatever. It makes me feel less alone.
Yeah.
And so just making sure that is like kind of topped off as part of these stops is always kind of front of mind when I do them, for sure.
Which towns deliver the best cafe vibes? You've spent a lot of time on a bike. It sounds like you've been to a lot of cafes.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably I don't like them to be in a city like 3,000 is a good population size. I think they're going to, if they have a cafe at all, it's going to be probably something that's either bougie and cute, which I'm totally fine with, or it could be something like a gas station, which, in small towns, I did the Transamerica bike route, which is Virginia to Oregon back in 2020 during COVID. And it was interesting to see how the gas stations were actually like, especially at like early hours of the morning, it was the social hub for that small little town. Bunch of guys coming in there with coffee and talking about who stole whose plow and like, like doing taxes and just like listening to like small town America discuss their day. It was like very intriguing, and being a fly on the wall there was certainly interesting. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
One paradox I love about you is you're so philosophical and interesting, obviously, but the way I'm setting this up makes it sound like an insult. Just like on the surface, it seems like they counteract your former profession. And I don't know if you want to mention the company, but it just seems like it's so not in line with everything. Like every conversation I've had with you, if I had to guess what you did for a living, this wouldn't be in the top 100 guesses.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, I worked at a tech company. I don't think there's any harm in mentioning MailChimp. Yeah.
Okay.
So email newsletter marketing. They kind of had an explosion of profitability early on, and I kind of got in when the getting was good, but it was all coincidence. Like, it was a small company kind of startup vibe when I first started in 2013.
Pre-Intuit, obviously.
Yes, yeah, very, very. That was a far-flung hope and desire for sure to get bought like that. But yeah, just I heard about it through one of my roommates who was also applying, and I just graduated from college, and so I went there and had like a very informal interview. Kind of like this, honestly. And they were just asking about my technical experience. And I was like, yeah, I make podcasts and I make music and I know my way around.
Tell me about your ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, right. Thankfully, none of those. That would have been a much shorter list. I only had 2 at that time. But yeah, that kind of a thing for sure. But yeah, tech, I mean, I've kind of had a resurgence of interest in tech in general. But yeah, I don't think that, like, I was a psychology major and also minored in Japanese, and I never maybe this is like a subtle desire to like not pigeonhole myself, but it hasn't been necessarily like I didn't have a very clear idea of where life was going to take me per se. but I've kind of always found that I didn't need to. And the trail, definitely, the Appalachian Trail anyway. I don't know about the other ones. It definitely proved to me that sometimes, just going headfirst into something that is unknown is, modern life, there's so few risks, and the risk that we do have, we have all the same hardware that we've had for tens of thousands of years. So the risk is still, it's experienced in the same way mechanistically through our body and biochemistry. But I put a lot of thought into the Oregon Trail as I've been doing this trip, because I've seen some signs about like being on the route that they took and talking to AI about it and stuff like that. And those people, they only did like 15 or 18 miles a day, with their wagon and with their animals and with their children and with their food. And like, there was no guarantee that they would make it.
Yeah.
And
sure. Gary died of dysentery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, spent too much money on avocados. I ran out of salt.
Yeah.
You guys had to do that in school, right?
No.
Oh,
I was referring to the game.
Well, they had exercises in school where you'd get a set budget, and then you had a list of supplies, and you had to choose with your funds what supplies you'd get, and then
avocados are good.
You'd die on the way because you didn't get enough of salt, and then you hit something and you lost your salt.
Yeah.
It was like a no-win game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Such
just
is
like
life.
Yeah,
true. Yeah. So say we all.
Yeah. Cut you off. You were at Oregon Trail.
Oh yeah, just I guess I don't remember how I was trying to tie that in, but in general, I guess
you're going back to technology. You're getting drawn back to it. You're talking to AI about Oregon Trail.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm not historically. I was not trained to be a tech person, but I have actually lived in the tech world for many, many years, and yeah, most recently it has been very, very intriguing. It's actually kind of why I left my job, was that I felt like the power of what AI is going to usher in is huge. And at bigger companies, it's too hard to leverage that because it's too risky. And I guess that maybe was how I was thinking about the Oregon Trail, because of the risk factor. But I just kind of got bored with my work. I was in customer support writing emails all day, and it was all metric based. And about a year ago, I started using AI pretty intensely and started making tools to automate my job. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Also, definitely writing on the wall for what's coming, because if a moron like me can like make these tools, for sure, someone who knows how to use this even better could just make my job completely irrelevant.
What'd you do at MailChimp?
I was a compliance analyst, so I would ensure that people who had broken our acceptable use policy in terms of use were either booted from the system or given some sort of a warning / remediation plan to play within the rules. So,
and how did you structure these AI tools to automate that?
Well, it was kind of low brow, but I'm not a coder, and so I knew like mechanistically, basically, I had all these Chrome browser extensions that would kind of just do maybe 5% of the beginning of work that I would have to do, like clicking certain buttons. I was really trying to like solicit as much feedback from other people as possible, because I kind of wrung my own brain dry. I found like anytime I was frustrated by something, like that would be how I would be inspired to go ahead and make a tool, because I was like, oh, frustration equals like the inability to do something, but also simultaneously knowing a better way it could be done. Like you kind of see both of those at the same time when you're angry and frustrated at a process. And so, I was just kind of making little things that would do little thing. I mean, opening new tabs, clicking on links. It was never too sophisticated, but still, it was a mind blower for me to be able to make something that actually worked the way that I was anticipating. That was a game changer.
Were these like crawlers?
Not necessarily. No, they were more static than that. They would just like, literally just, it really is just like anything you could do with your mouse that was sort of something that was part of your workflow, I could automate that. So we had different teams within our department, and I tried to like work with them and be like, where are your pain points? What do you hate to do? And like just working from there, because, again, frustration is like, it is the birth of creativity in my experience for using AI for that kind of a thing.
I know you've mentioned it a couple times in this interview. We talked about it a little bit before I hit the button, but AI is a passion point for you currently.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of problematic. People by and large don't tend to have a very positive impression of it so far. If it's not outright fear of what it could do, it's like also a simultaneous like almost bullying about how bad it is at like making fingers and cartoons and stuff like that. It's like the thing for me, the elevator pitch for it was like, what I found most revelatory was like it took me from something where my competency was not in line with my skill set. It brought me up to a level where as long as I understood the problem well enough and could describe it well enough, I could actually address it in a way that would be far beyond what I could do with just where my brain actually is. So you don't have to know skills anymore, especially in the tech world. Like it's almost probably a waste of your mental space to have like the library of how coding languages work, competing for ideas that could be more novel and more things that you could explore. Because I guess I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it.
No, just keep going.
Yeah, I love it because I've thought about this a lot. I've thought about this interview a lot during my ride, and I think the real thing that makes me excited about it is that like I grew up I'm a hypochondriac, so I do think that like illness and disease are like coming for me all the time. Like I always get nervous and in these kind of trips because my hygiene takes a hit, and I don't know. I've gotten more comfortable with it now, but initially, especially on the Appalachian Trail, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to die. I'll get dysentery and die or something. I don't know how easy it is to get dysentery, you know. But yeah, like, basically my understanding is just that like the human body, we have a genetic code, which is very similar to JavaScript, which is what I was using at my company to make these little tools. And there is absolutely no reason why it can't be manipulated in the exact same way using AI to basically cure all disease and also give us the possibility of living forever should we choose. Because it's all about levers and buttons being pushed. And it's like, can we create a system that can do that safely? And it's like, we've tried and we're not super great at it. Our best efforts are still leaving people suffering and in pain and just generally unwell. But I think that AI is expansive enough to have the context to actually eventually be able to do things for us in a way that, again, gives us the ability to live a completely disease-free life. And that since I've been a child, like whenever I would hear, like, what would you ask a genie for? Like that's always been kind of my deepest held wish. I was like, oh, I would just love for people to not be sick and die. Yeah.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
If we're talking about AI making people live forever,
Yeah.
do you think that would go in the way where AI gets to the point where, let's say, my liver fails, it can fix my liver? Or do you think that it gets to the point where we perfect the robot and then we just move our consciousness to the robot? Like, are we using AI to fix our mortal bodies, or are we moving our mortal minds into AI?
Yeah, so yes, and I mean, I think both of those are possibilities. I mean, I think if the technology could exist, which I think it will, to correct your liver's functionality, it would be doing it proactively all the time. So it would never get to a point where you actually had like a diagnosable condition, because that would be kind of counterintuitive. It would keep you well rather than addressing something as it occurred. I do think that people want to move their consciousnesses to AI, into robots and things like that. But then you have like that, is it like the ship of Theseus or something? It's like this Greek idea that like if you are continuously, like if you have this ship and the ship is like for hundreds of years, they replace parts on it. And eventually every single part of the ship has been replaced. Is it still the same ship? And so like with...
Isn't that the human body though?
That's exactly.
Every cell regenerates.
Well, that's true every 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. So that's another quandary. I mean, our consciousness makes us think that we've been here the whole time, but I don't know. I think AI is going to open up a lot about our consciousness and how that works too. Everything. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts where they talk about like AI will eventually, just to put it bluntly, it will solve math, it will solve physics, it will solve medicine. Like the only thing I fear is that because we made it in our image, it might actually be limited to understanding the totality of the universe's mystery and secrets, because I don't know, it would have to go above and beyond what humans can even conceptualize. And I don't know about its creative potential. Theoretically, it has infinite creative potential, but who knows?
from my understanding, I think that's like that's like a fork in the road for the way people are designing AI. Is like one is pulling from the data sources that we have already, and then another type of AI is teaching the AI how to learn.
Right.
So it can expand beyond the scope of human knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe that's the model that Grok is using.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's many of them, but that's my very dumb guy regurgitation of the different ways that AI is being developed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you want to live forever?
Yeah, I always have. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why this party should stop. You know, like it seems unnecessary. There's a guy, the Yuval Noah Harari wrote this book called *Sapiens*, which is a big book for me in like a formative time of my life. And I just remember very explicitly that he says that death is a technical problem, and humans are very good at solving technical problems. And that was like prior to the AI explosion that we've had recently. So, yeah, I would love to. Would you guys live forever?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would want to die quickly. Like,
We can make that happen.
yeah, right. I mean, honestly, yeah, like Peter Attia's book where he talks about the difference between health span and lifespan.
Right.
Yeah, I want a long health span.
Right, totally.
But I don't know. Yeah, forever is kind of, I have commitment issues.
I think
It's
there's
a long
like
time.
there's question marks there that I would need answered. Like
Yeah.
who's with me? You know, like to live forever and you're on your own and the world is now a cold rock and human civilization ended like millions of years ago.
Yeah.
What, like, that's maybe a little depressing and bleak. But if like Harper's there with me and Garrett's there and, you know, we're all doing it together, I would take a little extra time and then reevaluate.
Also, we talked about this on the Death Doula episode, but there've been a number of accounts where people have been like legally dead and then come back, and like consistently they report that that period of death is like nothing but peace.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, so it just seems like this thing that we all experience. Maybe you do get sucked down to hell, and like people just don't transcend that far. But yeah, I choose to believe that the afterlife or whatever it is not a torturous thing.
I don't see any utility in it being a torturous thing.
Right.
I mean, you know, respectfully, I think that, you know, we have a lot of stories that we tell ourselves, and that's certainly one of them that makes sense for the period of time that it was created, because there was a lot of suffering, and like, why wouldn't there be like this weird dichotomy where suffering is absolute and pleasure is absolute, and like that's kind of a story to get you through it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's also weird to ascribe emotions and human thoughts to the afterlife because, I mean, obviously it's our consciousness, so it's the only way that we can communicate it, but I'm sure it's probably nothing that we can even fathom.
Yeah, by definition. And I never really thought about it this way until you just said that, but I guess that is also, afterlife is continuing to live as well. So I guess, yeah, it's not a novel idea to live forever. It's just heaven on earth or heaven elsewhere.
That's a fair comparison. Your consciousness perceiving something or not. All right, away from the philosophical, back to a more basic question.
Sure. Let's do it.
One thing that I've struggled with on a bike, and I know I've talked about this probably on a million podcasts at this
seats.
point. Yeah, just being uncomfortable on a bike.
Right.
Anything over an hour, I'm like fidgety and like parts are starting to fall asleep. And it's not fun. Is that something that you just get over the hump? You get used to? You don't experience it?
I definitely do experience it. And I think you just get over the hump. I mean, it's just like how uncomfortable your backpack is, but like, because you just have had it on your back for so long, like you either, those nerves die or they otherwise stop protesting. I mean, I've got some crazy calluses. They're not as pronounced now since I haven't ridden it as much recently, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of pain involved for sure, but it's, I guess, it's not so much for me personally. I had a really bad saddle sore many, many years ago that was like persistent. And I stand up while I ride a lot. Like I went up to Lookout Mountain today. And like for the first maybe 3 miles of that climb, I was standing the entire time.
Wow.
And so I stand a lot, which helps with circulation.
Sure.
So I think it's just a matter of finding what balance, like what is the most amount that you can stand standing.
Yeah. I think maybe I just lack skill on a bike to be standing sufficiently. Because I'll stand if like I really need all of my weight and momentum to get me up a hill. But otherwise I'm sitting because I'm also lazy. Okay. So yeah, I guess give me the benefits of bike packing over hiking. And from the standpoint that you don't feel the kinship with nature that maybe a lot of other backpackers do. I think you're subtracting one of the things that are enticing for a lot of people, but I'm curious to know what it is about bike packing that is the magnet pull for you.
I mean, honestly, it's access to towns. Like I like not having to carry a lot of food. I like, again, my cafe stops, and I love starting my day at McDonald's. Started my day at McDonald's this morning.
I assume you got the app?
I don't.
Dude, are you aware of the app?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
You save so much money with the app.
Okay.
I'm not even like a McDonald's junkie by any stretch. I eat there enough that we can get Leo free ice cream every other trip or so. But
gotcha.
Yeah, definitely check out the app.
I definitely will. Yeah, I should. I've got other apps. I need to commit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again, to me, biking has always been kind of my first love. I've been doing it since I was 15. So it's crazy because it's like one of the few things I can say I've been doing for like 20 years, And I just kind of grew up biking in Atlanta, biking in the suburbs of Atlanta. And I certainly like the depravity, being deprived of things by trails, because it gives you a different perspective on like what you actually need and how much sweeter it is once you finally get it. That delayed gratification is just so total on the Appalachian Trail comparatively. But if I have my druthers and, I get to do what I want to do, biking for me, it's just like, everything is just so much more accessible, not even just the towns, but like your options for camping. Like if I went to that pit toilet and it wasn't positioned in the right way, it wouldn't take me an hour to go 3 miles and find something else. Like,
sure.
Especially because it'd be downhill, I could coast,
Yeah.
So it's just access and availability. Yeah. The options, you can consider a lot more options, and you don't have to really settle as quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you utilizing any sort of resource to get beta on where you're going to camp for the night, or like what route you're taking? I know you said that every day you're choosing your route now, but what are the resources that you're leaning on most heavily?
So I have a Wahoo bike computer, which has a really cool feature called Take Me To, which is basically just like your cell phone or Waze or whatever, taking you to any location. But I use that in conjunction with Google Maps. My perfect device would be somewhere in between those two Venn diagrams, like overlapping more than they currently are. But yeah, no, I mean, I've stumbled upon a lot of things because of the way this route has been retrospectively designed. Like the Katy Trail is one that I did not expect to come across, but I'd gone across the Ohio River and the Mississippi River, and at a certain point on a certain day, I was like, I'm pretty close to the Missouri River. I want to see what that looks like. And I went up there, and then I found this trail, this Rails to Trail that goes 240 miles east to west in Missouri. And then I was able to jump on that, and that trail was amazing. Like I've never heard of it, and I had no idea that it existed, but big shout out to the Katy Trail, Katy. But yeah, I've actually just enjoyed the unsuredness of this trip. It's been kind of, again, going back to that expansion pack kind of packaging for it. It's like, I like not knowing, because I've doing the Appalachian Trail twice. Like I really knew what I was getting into.
Sure. I
knew that the weather could change that and the people could change that. But by and large, like that was a known quantity.
Yeah.
And, I got kind of bored of it, honestly, which is probably expected for
a single track doesn't allow much room for creativity in terms of where you're going.
No, and the Shenandoah started to kind of tempt me. I was like, I could just walk on Skyline Drive, which actually was way better, like better views and easier access to the waysides, and little temptations like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Tell me about the glasses.
Oh, dude, I love these glasses. I look so dorky, but I'm leaning into it. So these are Meta AI glasses. I actually got them to hopefully live stream my bike ride, because I want to record everything that I'm doing in a meaningful way, but I don't really want to spend a lot of time doing that. And so I was hoping that I'd be able to live stream, because I think that just like the Truman Show, like I feel like if you record it, they will watch. Like. And just being able to watch throughout the course of the day, I would watch that maybe, or at least I'd tune in every once in a while.
Your life is certainly much more interesting than most people's. Definitely mine.
Well, I would love it if everyone, I would love to peer into anyone who was willing to let their life be exposed. Cause I'm like, okay, this is like who you are more essentially.
Is that how we create the Matrix? Is everyone's just broadcasting their,
dude, I think so.
Their experience?
We're getting closer.
Yeah.
The singularity is nigh. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately they don't allow for live streaming anymore. They just took that feature away a couple of weeks before I got these glasses. So it's kind of a bust, but
I do understand that one.
Yeah.
It seems unfair to be documenting something where somebody is not consenting to
Yeah, I
it?
think there was some legal issues there for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what can you do with glasses?
Well, it's a pretty decent AI assistant. I just finally was able to integrate one of my calendars and was trying to play with that to see what it could do. It's kind of like a black box, though. Bless you.
Thank you.
So does it project on
No
the
projection,
lenses? Okay.
but it has pretty cool speakers. And one thing you can do is like it can be your eyes for you. So it has a feature where you can like go live and you can speak to it like a human being and have like a conversation, and you can be like, what am I looking at? And it will describe what it sees, and you can kind of zero in on what it is. Like, you know, those things when you go into gas stations, sometimes you open the door and like the ventilation system like will blow or suck air. I was like, I don't actually know what that thing is doing. So I asked Meta, I was like, what is this thing? And then it explained to me how that part of the HVAC system worked to like pressurize or take away pressure so that, you know, either fresh air could be brought in or the cool temperature could be maintained even if the door was open and the pressure changed. So it's like I don't like, given that we live in the day and age that we do, I feel like I should never be like struggling to remember something that I know how to ask the question to receive the answer for. Like when people are like wanting to remember the name of something and it's almost like a game at that point, they're like, just give me a second. I think I know what this is.
Yeah.
Like I want to instantly just like push that information into my brain so I can move on to the next thing. And these allow, the form factor is just so much more convenient. So taking pictures, doing videos. I can't do any audio recording, which is kind of a bummer, but this is like the second version of these glasses. So I probably jumped on when they're going to be the worst type of glasses possible. And
So how do you take a photo?
There's a button.
Okay.
So
Are the photos good?
they are. Yeah, it's, I think it's a 10 megapixel camera. It's like not the best in the world, but the video can be shot. Ooh, bless you.
Thanks.
It's 3K video, and the features are kind of limited. I would prefer to have a device from a different like frontier AI company like OpenAI or something like that. And I think all that stuff is coming, but Facebook and Meta, they're just the first ones to drop it. So had to jump on.
If you look at Zach and say, what am I looking at? Can you tell us what it tells you?
Let me see. Let me wake her up.
Did you name her?
I have not. Okay. No, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if I can. The whole thing about AI is that you have to play with it to figure it out. It's so big. Like it's the only way to find out what it can do is to ask if it can do it, and then it'll either say yes or no. And I mean, again, going back to my time at work, like it was my experience was like iterative and algebraic with AI. Like I knew what I wanted. I didn't know how to get there, but AI was the bridge. And similarly, the glasses just turned on and now I'm getting talked to. But hey, Meta, what am I looking at?
She's got a lot to say about you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was probably not audible at all, but yeah, it said that I'm looking at a person who is sitting in front of a laptop with a microphone and headphones on, and the background is a forest tapestry. So, you know, you can go deeper than that. I don't know if it would recognize. I haven't tried the specificity again. I'm not sure where the limits are.
Can you ask it to search this person's face on the internet and tell you who it is while looking at Zach?
I can try.
I doubt I have that
Hey,
much
Meta,
of a presence.
Can you Google the person who's in front of me?
This also feels kind of spooky. We're like,
can't help with that photo request.
yeah. I'm glad that there's that limit on that one.
Well, yeah, but that would
The stalking
be wild.
potential becomes very easy.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
So is it just a speaker that's talking to you?
Yeah. There's a couple speakers close to the earpieces, I guess. And then even now I'm accidentally recording a video and it should be shining a light so that, you know, you're...
Oh, is that so people know?
Yeah.
They're taking them by surprise?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you ever get weird looks when you're talking to your glasses?
I probably do. Yeah, because I'm just like pacing and talking. And I mean, I assume these days people are like, well, they're probably looking for like the ear pods or AirPods or whatever. But yeah, it's somewhat subtle. I mean, these are worlds away better than the Google Glass of like 2014 or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know. When I saw them, I was like, this could be like a good business expenditure maybe.
Sure.
But we'll see. I'm still kind of...
So aside from like a general Siri type of interaction with it, what is the thing that you're utilizing the most?
Reminders. I'm a diehard list maker. And so previously I was having to like interact with my phone while biking, which is difficult. I can't type at all while I'm doing that. And this way I can just say, hey, Meta, and it will do what it just did. And then I can say, make a reminder to, I don't know, freshen my bidet. And I can tell it what time to remind me. It's very basic stuff, but it's the potential that I'm excited about. And so just having this already, I don't know how future proof it is. Like the future versions of AI may be too big for this to run, but yeah, I'm kind of fanboying about it, and it was just a new toy.
Do you worry about any of the negative theories about what AI could do? I mean, obviously, like ending a lot of jobs seems like a pretty likely one.
She's not. She doesn't like that.
She's like,
She's like, please stop talking.
And this guy, I don't like him.
Destruct.
He's pale. What about becoming sentient and realizing that we are a parasite and then wiping us clean?
I mean, I kind of go in and out of this as a single person with no dependence, but for me, I'm not scared by that. I think that if that's what will be, then that may be what will be. But I put my faith in the positive aspect of it. I think with all things, we're all just kind of like forecasting and projecting our fears onto it. You pack your fears, right? Or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, but, there have been other human type things on this planet before, and we destroyed them one way or another, either by, outthinking or outcopulating or whatever.
Define human-like things.
Like all of the other types, like
all the other Homo species?
Yeah, like
Homo erectus?
Yeah, Neanderthalis, even whatever that Neanderthal, like, because consciousness is something that still kind of throws me for a loop, going back to that spiritual point, because I'm like, well, why does that exist? But when I remember that, like, there actually have been other conscious creatures on our level to a certain degree in the past, but they just don't exist anymore.
Did we not evolve from them?
Not directly.
So we were separate from them, and we were just like, bye, guys?
Or like, hi, guys, like, we're here to eat you and kill you, and we have better tools and better stories, and you guys don't have... There were subtle differences. I don't know how they know all this, because the fossil record wouldn't tell you like a lot about these ancient civilizations and cultures, but they did exist in the same way that I would assume, like, the squirrels here are slightly different than the ones on the East Coast. Like the Australopithecus or whatever, like the Homo species that was in Australia was like markedly different than the ones that existed in Africa and stuff like that as we moved around the world when we did. But I don't have a lot of knowledge on that, but it does give me some comfort, because I'm like, well, if AI is ultimately, like, I don't want to anthropomorphize what the future is going to be, and if this is actually an extinction event that we're ushering in with like a lot of excitement, then that's just kind of what it is. Like, if it's not that, it could be a meteor, it could be a lot of things, but
it's interesting for someone who's a hypochondriac to be like so excited by the tool that could be eradicating us.
Well, I was going to say interesting for someone who would live forever in a heartbeat to be so okay with extinction.
Well, because it's happened a lot. I think 99% of the species that have ever existed are now extinct. So it's like that is actually part of the plan, and through a variety of different reasons that can happen. And, we have done a pretty good job of overcoming all of the environments that we've been in and mastering them, really. Like we're not really subject to weather or famine or like all these things that have plagued us and plague all other animals for the entire time that we've been here. It's certainly a real concern, but I mean, part of being a human being, I think, is just like, I think the thing that spark that makes us different from other animals is that desire to know. And so, Homo sapiens means like thinking man. And I don't think we can help ourselves here. I think if that is what happens, we are going to usher it in, but it's not a done deal. I don't think there's any evidence we don't have enough data to actually predict. And I don't like to have fear be a big part of the equation for my beliefs if I can help it outside of a health context.
I've got two AI questions
okay.
that are different, so they'll have to be individual. But the one that stems from this is, okay, let's say we're going down that route and we get to the point where AI could make people live forever, or could solve diseases, or could do all this stuff, and could lead to extinction. Would that even be accessible to everyone, or would it be something where if someone is of the belief that this is strongly what the future is going towards, it will be in a price point that is inaccessible to most, and would that not trigger thoughts? Well, I guess if that is the case, then how does one happily bike around and do all this stuff and not hyperfixate on I need to be at my desk and I need to be working and I need to be saving, because if that is where things are going, I have to be able to afford it. Otherwise, I'm going to get left behind. How do you not spiral down that?
That's a good question. I like this guy named Peter Diamandis. I think I'm pronouncing his name properly. He has this whole concept of abundance. And I think that AI, before it gets to whatever point where these are actual considerations on a daily basis, I think that abundance with materials in terms of like, I basically think everything is going to be democratized to a point where everything is basically free. We'll have free energy, we'll have free materials, we'll have things that, like our current paradigm with capitalism has been good, quote unquote, to get us to the point where we are now, to be able to actually transition to a whole new stage of society where no one is left behind. Like the whole concept of stratification based on haves and have-nots, everything, it will be so cheap to make all of this stuff. And again, with the energy thing, like being able to harness it in new ways that we've never been able to do because we just didn't have the brain power to realize these things that we could connect together. I like to believe in this positive look at the future where the way that all of those concerns are going to be addressed is by solving them, basically. Like you're not going to be, your value will not be tied to your bank account, like as a human being. Like you'll basically have access to everything just as everyone else does. Everything will be a public utility. Everything will be free.
Do you think that the people that run AI want that?
No, I think what they specifically want is based on the old paradigm of American entrepreneurial capitalistic style. I think that they want to be the first one who gets to this level, which is called artificial superintelligence, which is basically where AI is no longer something that we are building. It builds itself. And that recursive learning, as they call it, it's like that actually is when all of these things get fixed, because it doesn't have to wait for us to put the input in anymore. It can actually see and evaluate the problems and give solutions almost proactively. Like if this artificial superintelligence is when like AI basically is smarter than the sum total of all human beings combined. And once it reaches that level, it would have breakthroughs in every aspect of human life on a just the billions a second. You know, this would just be happening all the time. So yeah, I think we're very sensitive as creatures to fear and anxiety because it's a good survival mechanism, you know. And the current paradigm of media, I think, plays into that and knows it. And social media companies know that like if you're negatively aroused, you're more likely to stick around and maybe even buy something to make yourself feel better. And so like that is like some of the, I guess, antiquated technology that we have internally. Like we have our medulla oblongata is too big or whatever. But I don't think that our fears actually forecast the future very accurately. So I'm not a big man of faith, but I do have a lot of faith that the future will be positive. There's another guy named Steven Pinker who gave this TED talk like 10 years ago about, is the world getting better or worse? And it's like an 18-minute talk. And he's like, well, you know, it's hard to say objectively if the world's getting better or worse. But if you did look at like, how would you define good? It's like infant mortality rates are low, like famine rates are low, average life expectancy is high, like cancer incidence is low, or like we have better treatments. Like all of the data actually says that things are getting better. But you know, it takes the compliment sandwich or whatever. You need like 8 good things to balance one bad thing. Like that's kind of just how we operate. So I try to. One of my mantras is that the bad thing doesn't usually happen, whatever the bad thing is. Like we can fear that for a long time. And I think there's some Mark Twain quote. He's like, most of the worst things in my life never actually happened or something like that. And so, yeah, just like I'm trying to have faith for like the first time in my life and curate positivity for the future, especially given that data seems to suggest that it might be only getting better. I'd rather lean in that, even if it is a leap of faith.
I'm more pessimistic. I feel like people at the top of the class system historically have never wanted the people at the lower ends of the class system to rise to their levels. And I also think that we have similar scenarios these days where like we could give people healthcare, and we could make pharmaceuticals more accessible.
Yeah.
We could do all this stuff, and we're not because big business is the bigger concern than all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how historically seeing all that throughout centuries and time that would change. I think it would stay very elitist, but I don't know.
It's hard to say. I mean, we definitely live with a scarcity mentality right now because we have been everything has been scarce. So, but if AI opens everything up from resources and beyond, like, then it's a box. I mean, I think it's already been opened, but it's just like it's a tide that lifts all boats.
And I also think, partially to Ken's point, is it's way better to be a poor person in 2025 than it is in 1900. Is like, it's getting better. Even if you're at the bottom of the income bracket, you still have DoorDash and access to meds, and you don't die before you're 15 years old because of insert disease.
Yeah, no, I'm talking more about like if the tech geniuses were able to make life last forever. Like, would they give that to everyone, or would they give it to their posse of, people that are billionaires and trillionaires?
At first, definitely that.
In those clubs.
It will continue to be that way at first, but yeah, it's just like cell phones. I mean, even homeless people have cell phones now. It's like the trickle down will occur. And again, if the unlock of all of these things is as plentiful as it could be, you wouldn't even be able. It would be almost impossible to withhold it from other people because it would just be everywhere. Like,
then what would make them better than us? Because I think there is a strong part of, look at the people that own AI. Any part of those people, I think a strong part of their identity is being a level ahead of their peers. So if everything equalizes, what makes them better than everyone else?
Well, that's the thing too. It's like as soon as it's out of their hands and AI is doing all of the work, I mean, you can't predict it. It's like it's a complete shift of how things currently operate and not drawn out. Like, the Renaissance took, I have no idea, but it wasn't over in one day. But this is something like where as soon as AI can do these things for itself, everything changes the next day. Like,
it's gonna be wild.
So the people that are creating it are out of control of what it is.
Oh, absolutely,
and
they are.
Yeah, there's probably just more ego involved with being the person who creates it as opposed to necessarily reaping the benefits. Though I do think that is a part of it.
For sure.
But yeah, there's just like this innate human curiosity to be at the forefront of something.
Yeah, it's our essential spark. It's the thing that really, again, thinking man, it's like it's what distinguishes us from other critters.
Yeah.
My second question, to bring things back to the outdoors a bit.
I love that.
I saw a post on an internet about a data center being built in maybe Tennessee. And it was like the neighbors surrounding it showing like their water and how horrible everything is. What, like, this future that we're dreaming of, what does that mean for nature and our trails and these parts of the ecosystem that are very fragile towards that stuff? And subpoint B, do you think that you personally are more comfortable with the idea and excited by the idea of AI becoming all this because you aren't awed by nature?
Yeah, that's definitely a good cutting point. Yeah, I mean, I do think that, like, that the Wall-E movie, like, I do think that something like that is going to happen. Like, I think first of all, yes, I think that probably, like, not having a huge sense of sacredness for anything specific. I don't even know. I don't want to speak too definitively because I'm very likely to change my mind about things. But yeah, I mean, I think that it will only make those things better. I know that we have to make these huge data centers now in this way that is antiquated, which is just like using what we've used in the past, whether it's like solar or wind or nuclear, whatever it is. And, those things are ugly, and they're like, they are tiling the world now with like data centers and with like power centers for those data centers. But again, that's kind of like if you were able to make like a commodified nuclear reactor outside of a home that was like the size of like an air conditioner that basically would take carbon out of the air and like break that apart for the fuel source and then run that house on that fuel, then you could like solve global warming or some portion of it by powering your house. Like it's just a matter of like I don't know. Again, for me, I realize now that ideas are the currency. Like skill sets, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what you can do. It's like, can this idea actually come into actual, like a practical tool or product or whatever it is, by having access to the complete compendium of all human knowledge. It's because, again, we were just not good at making like novel connections to things that already exist. So this is like, I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to say it's like a growing pain for us, but I think that ultimately, I guess Martin Luther King said, if I can invoke that, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. And I kind of feel like, again, like I'm just putting faith in it not being a destructive force. I think it will be a creative, productive force for good, as an article of faith, again. And the good thing about faith is that you can't really discount it. There's no falsifiability there. But yeah, I mean, I hope that everything only gets better for nature and its trees. I do enjoy those spaces for what it's worth. I don't want to put too fine a point on me not liking them per se, but I do.
Them.
Yeah, I also don't like reading, for the record. So I'm all types of bad habits, but yeah, I mean, time will tell, but I think signs point to it being good.
To have your optimism, I'd love it.
Yeah, it could be very foolishly placed, but
Yeah, I tend to share your ideology on that stuff, but I don't want to talk about it.
let's not. Let's talk about the Florida Trail.
You want to talk about the Florida Trail?
I love the Florida Trail.
Okay, let's talk about the Florida Trail.
Yeah, that was a great trail.
Was this a hike?
It was a hike and a bike,
Okay.
And a train ride, actually, from Okeechobee to Orlando.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, I've never seen so much flora and fauna in my life. We started in Key West and went to Pensacola, hiked from Key West to Okeechobee. Okeechobee's awesome.
So is this you're hiking the trail and then biking the road walks?
Well, we decided that we didn't like the hike.
Okay.
It was like Florida is a different beast. I mean, you are going through a lot of towns, which I loved, and it's just so built up. Like I the way that they control water there is kind of like how they control cattle, like out here. Like it's crazy, all the levees and just all these systems for moving water around. It was kind of it made it seem like it was almost more alive than I usually would think about water. But yeah, it was just like sensory overload in a really cool way. And a lot of people don't like the Florida Trail. I feel like it has a bit of a reputation for just being starkly different from the other long trails.
It sounds to me like maybe you didn't vibe with the AT's nature, because the way that you're describing the Florida Trail is someone who's very appreciative of that nature.
That's true. Yeah, maybe it was a green tunnel effect or something like that. Yeah, it was just like not enough wonder to spike my awe meter or whatever.
Yeah, the way that you're stimulated by the flora fauna in Florida is maybe more your speed.
Could be. I mean, I did spend some time in my childhood living in Orlando, so it did also kind of feel like home. Like I didn't actually know that humidity was a choice until like I was an adult. I was like, oh, you're not supposed to just be sweating and gross all the time.
I'll move to Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah, a world of difference and no humidity at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what was the ultimate route with the Florida Trail? Like how much of this are you doing on foot?
I think we did about 300 miles on foot, and then took a train from Okeechobee to Orlando and got some bikes. And then we tried to parallel the Florida Trail as much as possible, but that's definitely not a bike-friendly trail. Definitely not supposed to bring bikes there. And it would have been terrible to even attempt that in where it begins at the Big Cypress Nature Preserve. Have you guys spent any time on the Florida Trail?
Intentionally, no.
Yeah, it's different. It's so different. And if you go northbound too, starting in that swamp is just like otherworldly. It's like, this sucks. Like, in a way that's totally unique. And depending on it's kind of like with the Sierra and the snow pack for the year, like there are flood levels that you could have like a completely dry go through, or it could be 2 feet of water or more, and you can't see anything. And we did this in like January, so it was winter and everything was asleep. But yeah, it was certainly much more difficult in ways that were completely not present on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah. So for the biking portion, are you just staying on roads as close to the trail as possible?
That was the intent, yeah. And that was pretty hard to do. So it kind of just ended up being like a freeform bike ride that generally followed the arc of the Florida Trail into bless you,
Thank you.
Pensacola. But yeah, I think that trail. Again, I'm biased because of my cycling proclivity. I guess I like road walking. Like I love road walking a lot. Not to change the subject too much, but the second time on the Appalachian Trail, I actually got off at Rangeley, didn't summit Katahdin. I actually failed that through hike, to be fair. But I did road walk from Rangeley all the way to Canada, and then that was a trip. Like,
one Rangeley is so close to the end.
I know.
Two, you're going past the finish line.
Way past, yeah. I could see Katahdin on my left as I went north, and I was like, huh.
So why?
I was just tired of the trail. I was like, this is so hard. Like I'm so hungry. Like I would just love to be able to go to a McDonald's. And I know that there's one like 3 miles down the road. And
are you a double agent working for McDonald's?
I should be. I definitely would love to be sponsored by a lot of choice companies. I actually have designed a jersey that's like a mashup with McDonald's and Zen. I'll send a picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy though. I mean, that's so desolate up there. Like the logging roads that take you from like the Rangeley area to Fort, oh my God, the name of it, Fort Kent, which is also the first mile of US Highway 1, which goes all the way back down to Key West. And it was my intention to walk that, but quickly I found out you're not allowed to in large portions. So I ended up actually just retracing my steps. I went back south after getting to Canada and walked to Pennsylvania.
Just road walking?
Mostly, yeah. It was a very hot summer, and there was a lot of exposure that I wasn't expecting. Not a lot of rain, and I actually had like several panic attacks just getting too hot, and mistimed edibles, from some of the finer distribution places in the Northeast. But yeah, I was paralleling the AT again there, and I would kind of go into the AT if I had too much of the road. I really like the balance of the two. I think the best way to actually characterize my relationship with nature is that I like it to be balanced. I like perfect day would be start in the woods because that's the easiest place to camp. Spend a third of your day on roads doing something, and then retreat back to the woods for night. I think that's actually my perfect recipe, and the Pinhoti was kind of like that a little bit, at least at the beginning.
Where do you put your bike when you're going to Pennsylvania on foot, and then you're on your bike, and then you like to bop in and out? Where do you put it when, let's say you're on the AT and you're bopping in and out and you want to walk for a bit?
Well, I guess...
Like, do you take it with you? Are you going like, I'm doing 20 miles on the road, now I'm doing 20 miles on the AT, now I'm doing 20 miles on the road?
Well, for the AT, I definitely never biked it, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I would I consider it like my purse. So I always have my bike with me.
You've carried it while hiking the AT?
I have done that. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, for short bursts, like if maybe I went like a mile into the trail or something like that, I would just carry it on my shoulder. I have like I think it's actually a visual kind of callus on my right shoulder. I've been carrying my bike, just putting the seat like right here. I'll have to do a demonstration after.
How heavy is your bike?
That's my next question.
75 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a light bike?
No.
That's
the opposite.
I was going to say,
That's like the first bike ever made.
Yeah, it's like 3 bikes in one, basically. Maybe more. I'm not getting any points for how this bike is like set up or how it looks visually, or I mean, it functions perfectly well for my purposes, but yeah, it's heavy, definitely. Yeah.
Why the heaviest bike on earth?
Well, I guess I like durability. I flirted with the ultralight stuff, and I had a really bad experience with a tent.
What happened?
I was in the Smokies, and I won't mention the manufacturer, but basically the tent poles, they broke at the hub where you would kind of put them together. There were like these flanges, and you'd put the poles into them, and on separate occasions, it broke once on both sides. And I was just like, this is like one of the pieces of tent that could have been the most durable. And it proved to just break. And I was in the Smokies. Thankfully, someone had given me a drill bit. And when I was at the NOC, and I had repaired one side of it with the drill bit, and that actually broke the drill bit in the repair. And then I actually had 2 drill bits and was able to kind of jerry rig it a little bit. But the reason I like heavy stuff is because it's durable. So
is that a steel frame bike?
It's a steel frame bike. Yeah, my tent's like 3 pounds, and I'm carrying a bunch of unnecessary things, like not a ton of stuff that's unnecessary, but some things that are, I wouldn't do it if I was backpacking for sure. Like I definitely would pare things down a lot.
At 1-800-Flowers.com, we know that connections are at the heart of being human. Whether celebrating life's joys or comforting during tough times, 1-800-Flowers helps you express what words can't. For nearly 50 years, millions have trusted 1-800-Flowers to deliver thoughtful gifts that help create lasting bonds. Because it's more than just a gift. It's your way of showing you care. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast and connect today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Is there any part of you that also just likes the challenge of having the heaviest bike?
Yeah, it's definitely bragging rights.
Yeah.
Although I did, again, Lookout Mountain today with my bike unpacked, and I had done it a couple days ago with a friend with my bike fully packed. A completely different experience. I'm surprised I didn't die doing it with my bike fully packed. I was trying to keep up with him, or not at least have him feel like he was like babysitting someone.
Yeah.
And so I was putting a lot into that ride, and it was super hot and it was super steep. I mean, I've been going through Kansas, which is just like, it's like a 1% grade for like 500 miles until you get to like Colorado, and all of a sudden you're at 5,000 feet, but you didn't feel any of it. So I really haven't done any proper climbing in a while. Plus I'm at elevation. So yeah, that's, it's a heavy bike, but it makes what a good men are made out of hard times or something like that. I don't even know.
So are you going 100 miles per hour when you're going down Lookout Mountain with the fully?
Unfortunately, not even. No, it's like, because of the way it's set up, it's just like not a sail. It's like the opposite of a sail. It's just like it stops I kind of top out at like 30 miles an hour.
Huh.
I can't go faster than that.
Yeah.
It's the drag of everything. So yeah, I don't get to eat my cake to going up or going down. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I want to talk about Trail Correspondence.
Yes, let's do it.
So you were on the inaugural season when it spun off onto its own podcast. And then what are we looking at? 5 years later?
Approximately, yeah.
You came back as the producer, host, the full showrunner of it. Give me your top piece of advice for somebody, either like, let's say, the future class of Trail Correspondence, or just anyone that wants to gather content in the span of a thru hike.
Well, I'm a big fan of podcasts, making a personal record of, I have my own, and I find it very therapeutic.
Give the name of it?
Book of Moron. And I think that's probably, and this is, again, no accounting for taste, but I think that it's more accessible than writing. It's easier to do. Like I make an episode every single day, and it's just like whatever comes out is fine. And I don't have to worry about editing it or anything that would take more time than just doing it. There's very low latency there. So me personally, I think that's the best way to do it, just because it is so extemporaneous and so quick and so easy. But you also, the thing that I like about it is that because it is more accessible, you're more accountable to any of the things that you have said, because you can quickly reflect and listen back on them. And I actually feel like it's changed me a lot personally, like kind of viewing myself in third person, hearing the things that I've said and either approving or strongly disapproving and changing behavior, because I can see patterns emerging. And yeah, I mean, I think most, my sense is that people tend to be more visual. So I know pictures are worth 1,000 words, as they say. But for me personally, and maybe this ties into why nature doesn't really strike that awe in me, I just think that words are more powerful to ground me back in that situation, because I can hear the tone of my voice. I can hear how honest or dishonest I'm being, how drunk or sober I might be in saying those things. And again, the time for reflection after the fact, it's like, it's for me, it's just easier. I feel like writings, you have a journal, like what are the chances you're going to go back and read that? Like maybe occasionally you might, but like for me, I actually have all of my podcast episodes like integrated with my music. I have all offline music. And so as I'm shuffling through, sometimes old episodes of my show will come on and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I remember this, and I remember that this is like I'm about to talk about this kind of a thing, and it just puts me right back there. So if you're a fan of podcasts, I'd say make your own.
Yeah. Okay, so good pitch for the audio medium. if you wanted to offer insight to someone to do it well, because you've got a great gift of you could just monologue about anything for 20 minutes and make it interesting. I don't think everyone has that. So like if you wanted to, and I guess this goes back to like you're receiving hikers entries and you were also involved with the process of selecting the candidates for that season. Like what makes someone stand out to be someone that you want to listen to, or if they're going to go through the process of recording, like, do you have any advice for how to get the most compelling thoughts?
I mean, finding your authentic voice, which I think you just kind of come across as you say more and more. Like, you know, even most people don't like the sound of their voice. So that's like a big impediment initially. And then I think you're also, when you first start talking to yourself in a long form way, you're also still kind of integrating a lot of the social, like, mores into that, I guess. Like, but eventually, if you continue to talk, I think that you will actually come to a better essential understanding of who you are, because at a certain point, no one else is listening. And so you can actually be brave enough to be honest. And so in doing so, I think you can actually befriend yourself and start to like yourself more and give yourself more grace and compassion, because you can hear if you're being hard on yourself, like, how hard are you being on yourself for doing something versus how hard would you be on someone else if they did that same thing? Sometimes those are mismatched, but you kind of realize, or you can realize, that you can give yourself that same kind of compassion. You are hearing yourself as a third person. So, I think that all just goes into cultivating that kind of, again, the authentic voice or whatever. I think one way I liked it described was the organismic being, like really getting into who you actually are on like a fundamental level.
Two-parter.
Okay.
Do you like the sound of your own voice?
Not really, but I've been told that it's, I've got a face for radio, they say.
I mean it more, and you're talking about how most people don't like the sound of their own voice in terms of listening back, but it sounds like you're very comfortable with listening to your voice.
I tolerate it. Yeah. Like,
is it still kind of cringe to you?
Yeah, it is, because I feel like I sound like an idiot. Yeah. I don't think I have like this like velvety smooth, like Barry White kind of register that I have been told that I kind of might have. But you know, again, I chalk that up to coding versus decoding, and like, I think you do literally hear your voice differently no matter how it's coming out, whether it's from a recording or when you're speaking. So I don't know if it's...
I think they've done studies on that. I think so too, and you hear the tone differently. To piggyback off of what Zach's saying and maybe give it a different perspective, but like, for example, I obsess over my mile by mile project, and I'll record clips of me reading different parts to, you know, test out certain things, and I listen back to them, and it's like, that just like sounds so dumb, that sounds so stupid, that worded that way doesn't sound right, the tone doesn't sound right, someone else could do this better. What tips do you have for someone who wants to do something like trail correspondence, or maybe gets accepted to something like that now is recording these audios during their trip and about to send them out and facing those sorts of reflections, watching them back? It sounds like you've gone through a process where over time you've learned to be very comfortable with that. What tips do you give someone like me in that situation, or like someone going on trail correspondence, to make them more comfortable?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is something that I've heard from Dan Harmon, which is like kind of how to get around writer's block. So it's like the writer of Rick and Morty, and also the creator of my favorite podcast, Harmontown. But it's like, he says, if you are worried about like these kinds of things, like, prove that you're a bad writer, prove that you're a bad podcaster. Like, don't sit around to like make the best podcast ever, because then you're going to end up never doing anything. Show how shitty you are. Like, you know, like that. I was actually... in 2022 on the trail, like one of my mottos was like, I'm going to put my worst foot forward. Like, how stupid can I be? Like, how just receptive to, how naive, really. It's not even stupidity. It's like, I want to be proven wrong as often as possible. And I want people to feel like they are informing me of something, because I think I do have like this air of like knowing or being smart, which again, moron is a good way to kind of tamp that down. But yeah, like the creative process requires a failure, but I think you get more data from failure than you do from success. So it's just like, again, navigating to your authentic voice, which there's nothing to be ashamed of in your authentic voice. If you're a human being and you've gotten to a certain point as an adult where you've never had any kind of like major issues that cause you to be shunned by all of society, you're probably not the piece of shit you might think that you are. And you can really take heart in that, and you can be vulnerable, because vulnerability and like compassion, if you can have that for yourself, you can have that for others. And when people do kind of give you bad feedback, it's like, well, that's fair that you think that. And it's like, that's your opinion. And again, there's no accounting for taste. So it's just like, it's a practice of just, I don't know. It's knowing that if you're okay in and of yourself, then it doesn't really matter what comes after that, because it's like, if you did mess up, you can be accountable to that and you can learn from it. It's, I don't know. It's like a shame dichotomy that's kind of, I don't know, a little slippery maybe to work with. But I would just say, yeah, just prove that you suck, and then you'll get better. If you keep doing it anyway, I think.
Yeah. That's good advice. Your first stuff is going to be your worst stuff, but like you have to get started.
Yeah.
I think the motto that you mentioned from Dan Harmon is just like, prove that you're the terrible thing that you keep telling yourself is a good way to get over that initial hump. Yeah.
Just start writing, start speaking, see what comes out. And sometimes, and most of it will suck. Like, you shouldn't be going for solid gold. Like, it's going to be like 90% poop and 10% gold. Maybe that's what the best thing about podcasts. It's like, the important parts do end up standing out. They kind of perk your ears and your interest, and everything else is just kind of like how you filled that space in between those points or whatever. But it's also just comforting to hear a human voice and telling stories and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, just throw it against the wall, see what happens.
This holiday, give the gift that says, let's cancel plans and just lounge. MeUndies has dropped a new holiday collection, and it's made for maximum cozy. We're talking soft as snow, ultramodal fabric, festive prints, and loungewear so comfy your couch might get jealous. Onesies, hoodies, joggers, even delightfully quirky holiday designs. You're welcome. Knock out all your holiday gifting needs with deals up to 60% off at MeUndies.com/comfort. Enter promo code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
I feel like also doing a long trail, it can be not monotonous, but very repetitive. Like eat, sleep, shit, repeat.
Yeah.
For something like trail correspondence or anyone who wants to document their hike or their journey in any sort of way, what are your tips for making something interesting when it feels like everything you're saying is just a repeat?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there are little moments of novelty, especially on trails, that do kind of make their way into the monotony. They're quickly forgotten because, like, again, if you're not making notes, you don't even. One of the scariest thoughts to me is that I don't even know the things I've forgotten. Like, I don't even know how many things I've forgotten. I'm always trying to make lists and stuff. So yeah, like, again, this is like an avenue where AI can help, because it is a struggle to record all of these things as they happen in a way that isn't very disruptive to your progress. But yeah, I would say, you can make it a practice to, again, like I did with my girlfriends, it's like, well, what's the most charitable way I could have described this day? Even if there's nothing fantastic that happened, like there's several moments they're very transitory, but like trying to be more aware of those, since you're ostensibly out there to be in a very different scenario anyway. I guess just really broadening what seems important and making sure that you document it in the moment, and don't think that you can remember it later, because it was all that stuff just evaporates really quickly. So I guess in the moment, do take that time to actually document somehow what happened that actually did get you through that day and that was of note, even if it's, I don't know, you can go pretty deep and pretty far in even mundane things. Every cat hole you dig, every shelter you stop at, there's something there that happens that is, while categorically the same as the day before, it's like qualitatively different maybe. And tuning into those things more can bring some light to what is otherwise very, very similar every single day. Small interactions, and you can just kind of go down the rabbit hole of like, why was that even worth something mentioning? It's like, examine that fact. Like, you can go on forever, I think, anyway. I can maybe.
Yeah, no. And I think it ties back to your first point about just being as authentic as possible, because even if you're relaying something that has been done 5,000 times before,
right,
like, if you are being authentic to yourself, you are being bad analogy, but you're a snowflake. You are one in a trillion.
Yeah.
So seeing it through your lens is a different thing.
Exactly.
Even if it on paper looks the same.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really strong point. Just because the way that you're filtering it, you're taking it for granted that it's mundane, but it's mundane through your eyes, and that's something to examine.
Yeah.
Because why is it mundane? Like why? You can open those doors and examine it further and further and further. And even talking about not having anything to talk about is something to talk about. Like, why don't I have anything to talk about? Like, do I not have enough food? Do the people who I'm with suck? Like, why am I less communicative? Why am I sad or happy or whatever?
Yeah.
You know?
You did a bike trip during a winter storm?
I did. Yeah, that was during the Pinhoti redo. Like the storm, I forget the name of it now, but it was the one that had dumped a bunch of snow in Lafayette, Louisiana. They got like 14 inches of snow, and I had just planned this trip, and it coincidentally it occurred during the storm, and I couldn't like adjust it or didn't want to. And it was really cold. But yeah, I like that sometimes, when you make a plan to do something, like there's that guy right now, Killian Jornet, is that his name?
Is that the ultra runner? Yeah.
I just was made aware of him.
Yeah.
But he's like going out there all the time, no matter what the conditions are. And people like that definitely inspire me to do something similar when I can help it. So that was just a crazy trip that was like a week long, but just so cold. And actually, hopefully, my thought with being this close to the Rockies and trying to continue on past this point further west to California, I'm hoping that, Rockies in the fall, early fall, are maybe no worse than the East Coast in the dead of winter. Maybe talking back about acclimating to weather, but I mean, you guys would know better than I would.
Prime leaf peeping.
Yeah, very temperamental. That's true. It's like peak right now. I was literally in Crested Butte today, and it was, I would say, peak when we left.
Crested Butte today.
Oh, I'm tired right now. Might have to reach for my own sins. But yeah, it's very temperamental. It can be very nice. I mean, once you get up to 12,000 feet, it's going to be cold no matter what.
Right.
But you could get snow at any moment. It could take 3 to 4 more weeks before we get snow. I guess at the mountain passes, it'll probably be earlier than 3 weeks. But it sounds like you're after that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Continue.
Where's the route taking you?
Well, unsurprisingly, perhaps now I want to do a Silicon Valley tour. So I'm like vaguely heading. I've never been to Las Vegas before, so I'm going to head from here to Grand Junction, where my sibling just moved, and visit with them for a bit, and then go via Las Vegas. Don't really want to stay there, but I do want to see it. Big Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas fan. That movie's awesome.
Have you been to Utah before?
I have been to Utah.
Okay.
Yes, and I guess I will be going again through like Moab and stuff. Basically, I have found that kind of paralleling 70 has been pretty good for me through Kansas and Colorado now too, to have access, but still also kind of be off the beaten trail a little bit. You get an intuitive sense of like zoning laws when you're doing these kinds of rides or road walking. Like you see like how things are kind of laid out. Like industry usually comes first, like large industry when you're coming out of like a otherwise desolate area. And then like on the periphery of like towns, they'll have like gas stations, and like churches tend to be out there too. And churches are a great place to stealth camp because who's going to throw you out? It's God's house. I think you have a standing invitation there all the time. And then you have the center of the city where all the good stuff is. But I also like that you historically can kind of get a sense that the surveyors still agreed that like the interstates, the railroad, the old highway, those typically are like all really close to each other, taking the path of least resistance. And so it's just kind of cool to think historically that like how this land was kind of like commodified, I guess, for travel. But yeah, I don't know if that's an answer to the question because I started thinking about trains a little bit.
It was a more interesting answer than I think the question was. Okay, it works. Okay, so you're going to Vegas and then you're ending in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, and then probably, I mean, I only need one reason to bike anywhere really. So at this point, I'm feeling good enough, especially feeling a little stir crazy being in this area for like 10 days. I definitely want to probably bike back to the East Coast unless something happens that is unforeseen, which I'm hoping for. So can't speak on that too much, but I always end up meeting people and having opportunities during stuff like this, which kind of sets up the next stages of whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see where that goes. And these are like the tentative plans. I had made a whole route for this trip. The first day I went to Fontana Dam, so bring it back to the trail. And after that day, I completely went away from this whole schedule that I had made for the first 6 days to get to Louisville, where I have family in Kentucky. And I was just like, I already can't keep to this schedule, like one day in. So that's kind of been the theme of the whole trip. It's just every single day is different, you know.
Where's tomorrow? Or you said you're staying here one more day. Where's the day after tomorrow?
Silverthorne area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
That's where Elise is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Try to connect those dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. There's my mission.
Yeah.
You know, possibly. You know, obviously, no pressure.
Yeah.
You know, I can make something work. I'm sure they have pit toilets there, somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I'm very excited. I've been kind of off my game for like 10 days. Spent 5 days in Denver, which was kind of like a palate change for sure. Yeah, I mean, I know Denver is great. I know that there are pockets, if not the majority of it, that are great. But the areas that I happen to find myself in were definitely a little bit more like the city vibes that I have from Atlanta. And I was just like, man, like, I really don't like this. I really like interacting with homeless people, and there's no shortage of them there. And, you know, going to McDonald's one morning to kind of try to reorient myself in the good ways. I was approached by one person who was on an e-bike who asked me for meth, like straight up. And I was like, dude, it was very weird because I was like, you look like you're a man of means, at least enough to have a bike. Like, and I don't know why you're asking me for meth, but that just shows the desperation. You know, I guess you're asking everybody. And then shortly thereafter, after two other homeless people had come up to me, I'd found a pack of cigarettes. So I was like also just giving cigarettes to everybody. It's like how I give back to the community. It's like one less bad thing that they have to do something bad to get, you know. I'm just like, this should get you no sends for 2 hours maybe, or something like that. But then another guy came up and asked if any of us had a needle. And it was funny because one of the homeless men who I was with, that was not with this other gentleman asking for a needle, he was like a sewing needle. And I started laughing, and I was like, I don't think he wants a sewing needle. I don't think that's what he doesn't look like he's a seamstress. But yeah, so Denver, you know, again, it definitely made me feel like definitely stir crazy. But coming to Golden's been great. Golden has been the breath of air that I needed, and you know, the weather has been a little tumultuous while I've been in Colorado, which I guess you said is kind of out of character for it for this time of year.
I mean, rain not so much, but thunderstorms in basically October is
it's a spring thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about going over the Rockies, but I got to do it. So
that's part of the adventure.
It is. Yeah. It's a sign that things are going well, I think. At least that's what I tell myself. It's like, I'm supposed to feel like this. It's like taking a drug. It's like, oh, this is actually what I wanted to have happen, even if it's a little bit more than I was hoping.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll be whatever it will be, will be.
Yeah.
It is what it is, as they say.
We're going to end with this. This is the Gossamer Gear question. Use our code LT20 for 20% off the LT5 trekking poles. This one's a little bit different. Chance, I made 3 questions. You're going to pick one of the 3 to take us home with.
It's got to be the middle one. What's your number one irrational fear?
Number one irrational fear. That's a good question. As a hypochondriac, I feel like I shouldn't go into there because I think that's too obvious. Man, my number one irrational fear. Damn. That is a good question. I spend a lot of my time in fear and anxiety, which I actually think is just showing that you're doing it right. God. I guess it is just that I'm going to die. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything better than that. It's just like reading my own biofeedback and completely misinterpreting it, which is actually one of the notes I made today with my glasses. I was like, I'm like wrong about everything, which I think has been like even the stuff that I have the most intimate knowledge about. Like, and I don't know what it's like to have a heart attack, but I pretty much every single day go through some period of my day where I'm like, you know, this feels a little different. This flutter felt a little malicious. Like, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I guess just unexpected death.
Okay.
Yeah.
That counts for sure.
Good. Feels weird saying good to that. But
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I'll
Yeah.
accept that answer.
That definitely suffices. All right. Book of Moron, where else should people go to keep up with you?
I am on Instagram. I actually just made a new username that I'm quite happy with. Moron Hoomst Bikes. So HOMST, the proper usage of that word in the English fashion, I believe.
No W?
Oh, there is a W. Did I not say that?
No.
I don't know how to spell. I'm a voluntarily illiterate person. So, there is a W. Thank you for the correction. Hoomst with a W. the podcast, everything is linked from there and everything. And yeah, I don't know. Strava, I guess I'm on Strava as well for those folks under Kenneth Pereiro. And yeah, I have a website, bookofmoron.podbean.com, which has links to everything. So that's probably the best repository for that stuff. But it is more of this kind of thing. Like, I just talk a lot. So I don't know if you feel brave enough, especially my old stuff too. It's kind of repulsive. So there's a lot of stuff out there, hundreds of hours.
That's a good thing. I always love talking to you. You are a good time.
Likewise, you both.
Yeah. And you've got an open invite. Anytime you're coming through, let us know. Love to.
Don't tempt me, man.
Yeah,
I'm coming back at some point.
We don't need another subject to even just kickstart a fun conversation. So
true.
Thank you. Thanks for making it happen. Will you stick around for segments?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. To the Trek propaganda portion of today's show. I can't not include this article. Obviously, this is Tips for Safe and Steamy Tent Sex by Redacted. This is it's technically a guest author on the website, but it's not a guest author, but the person has to be anonymous for probably obvious reasons. But yeah, the author breaks down how to get it on trail. Some tips include finding a flat, private patch of dirt, to keeping things both steamy and sanitary, includes gear that you can use, and using the red light setting on your headlamp. So there's a full breakdown of ways to get frisky in the backcountry.
That's cool. I like that.
Want to learn more? Links in the show notes. I think that's the only one I'll do for today. Today's question of the day, you take it, because this is your
this
digging.
one just feels too easy, but so be it. You get $1 million per year, but you can only use gas station bathrooms. You must go a full calendar year using only gas station bathrooms every time you pee or poop. You will receive your $1 million the exact day you started the following year. The payment will be directly deposited into your bank account. So if you're at home and need to go pee at 3 a.m., you can't use your bathroom. You have to get in your car, drive to the nearest gas station. Feeling uncomfortable at a concert, off to the gas station you go. If you're at a wedding and you need a bathroom break, you'll have to leave the venue and find a gas station.
I'm assuming this is like all hygiene, like showering. Is this just emptying your bowels?
The post that we screenshotted says you must go a full calendar year only using the gas station bathrooms every time you pee or poop.
Okay. All right. So I can still shower at home or wherever. Follow-up question. Can I pee and poo outside, or do I have to use a gas station?
It says you have to use a gas station. Because that would be my follow-up is, can I pee my pants?
Yes, you can.
Dry pants are a choice.
But would that take away the $1 million? Because I don't know if I would always have the time to get to a bathroom.
If it was an accident, like because you were on the way, I think that's got to be allowed, because
it'd be intense there.
And I pee a lot too, so man, I would definitely have some wet pants pretty often. I don't think that should disqualify you.
You would have to move to somewhere near a gas station and then not really travel.
That would be a good hack.
Yeah.
Or you could become a business owner and have your own gas station.
True.
And the public isn't allowed to visit it.
No, they can come, but like maybe I live upstairs.
Romantic.
No.
You've never seen one of those, have you?
Yeah, mine is no customers allowed in the bathroom.
No public bathroom.
Yeah. There's the hack there. But if we're answering this honestly, I don't think I last longer than a couple of weeks.
I would do it. Easy.
For how long?
It says I have to go a year. I get $1 million a year. So
does it pay out weekly? Do I get 1/52nd of $1 million?
No, the exact day you started the following year is what it says.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
I think I could go at least a year, and I think it would be worth the sacrifice. Like I would.
Do you not pee in the middle of the night?
Yeah, but here's the question: Would you somewhat change your lifestyle for a year to get $1 million?
Be constantly dehydrated to not pee in the middle of the night? No.
I would position myself in a position where I could go into the bathroom at a gas station whenever I need to use it for a year if it meant $1 million. If I got a job and my salary was $1 million and the job was I need to sit outside a gas station from 9 to 5 or 12 hours a day or whatever it might be for a year, I would take that job.
My thinking is if you have that level of dedication, you can make maybe not $1 million, but close enough to have the same general lifestyle. And you're not being tied to being at a gas station for all hours of the day.
If anybody listening with a spare $1 million that they don't care about or want to spend stupidly, or if I were to get a serious offer tomorrow, I'd quit my job. Absolutely. I will pee in a gas station every time I need to.
And you're doing this just indefinitely?
For
a
at
year.
least a year.
Yeah.
And then I'll sign on again if I'd like to, but for at least a year, yeah, easily.
Yeah, and no. That's a no for me, dog.
It's the easiest yes I've ever said.
A million's not even that compelling of a, like, it definitely solves a lot of problems, but it's not like you get to then just stop working for the rest of your life.
Depends on how you use it. If I'm just taking it after taxes and I'm spending it, no. But if I'm taking it after taxes and I'm investing it, I've got compound interest on my side, baby. I'm 33.
Okay, so 35% of that is going to taxes immediately.
Great.
Are you moving
$650,000
and you can stop working for the rest of your life?
A lot sooner than I would be able to at a 9 to 5.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think that if you had that level of dedication to pee all hours of the day at a gas station, if you applied that to something where it's less mindless and soul sucking, you could get close enough to $1 million that.
If I put it in a low cost index fund, math says money in that would double every 7 years is the math that people go by the studies. So $650,000 in one of those in 7 years would become $1.3 million. In another 7 years, that's 14 total years, would be 2.6.
Damn.
And that's just 1 year of me peeing in a gas station.
I hear what you're saying, but you're not hearing what I'm saying. 'Cause if you applied that sort of work ethic to something that didn't suck your soul dry, you could make close to that amount of money without having to pee in gas
I've
station
got the work
bathrooms.
ethic. Point me in the direction where I could make $1 million in the next year with good work ethic, because I'll go there.
Yeah.
You could probably mine Bitcoin, get pretty close.
If there's a learning period,
Yeah.
there's risk
Well-
involved. There's something to lose. There's nothing to lose if I don't.
Your
succeed.
sanity for sure.
No way. No way, baby. Pure motivation. I will do this tomorrow.
Huh.
Whoever has the $1 million, reach out to me. I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'll be really good at it too.
You've got some passion for this. Yeah. It sounds like you want to do it.
Yeah.
Almost.
Would I work? I mean, I'm not even working hard. I could spend the rest of the day doing passion projects. I could read.
You'd
All
be
day.
you'd be tethered to being near a gas station at all times.
Fine.
So
Yeah.
you're going to trade a year of your life in your prime to be next to a loaf and jug so you can have $3 million with inflation is not even going to give you probably the lifestyle that you want in 25 years. Like, that doesn't seem like a good trade for me.
You sound like someone that would turn down $1 million.
For this, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's precisely what I'm
I
saying.
mean, you're making it sound so small, but that's so much more than most people will ever see. And it's for a year of.
That's factually true,
It's
but
for a year
I also
of
don't think
mindless-
people's lives are so terrible that they have to have every diarrhea in a 7-Eleven.
I don't think peeing in a 7-Eleven is so bad that it would ruin my life to do it for a year.
I mean, over a year, you're going to get food poison. Like, something's going to go wrong, and
You
you're
will
going to
get
have to, like,
sick.
sleep on the floor of a bathroom at a
Who's
Loading
to say
24
I
hour
haven't
truck
done
stop.
that? I had the cops called on me because I slept in my car outside a gas station once because I didn't want to wake someone up because I was shitting so hard.
And would you opt into that?
I did. I didn't get paid to do that.
No,
I
but I'm
just
saying, would
had
you
to.
rather be at your home bathroom, or would you rather be on the floor of a...
Would I rather be at my home bathroom getting no money, or would I rather be in pain with a mill coming my way? I would rather be at the gas station any day.
Yeah, I want the not cockroaches and 1,000 strangers piss on the floor.
I'm taking the mill. Take the money, baby.
I would watch this. I mean, the way that you're selling it, it would be amazing
Find me a
too.
sponsor.
Yeah.
We can make our own podcast.
I just live stream it for a year.
Yeah, it's
you
called
know?
The Girl Who
The Girl
Shits
Who
in the
Peed.
Bathroom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
at the
like
gas
it.
station.
Dude,
Girl X gas station.
dude.
Yeah.
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 This is sounding like a better and better
All
idea.
we need is a millionaire to invest.
Moron probably knows the relevant study here, but isn't there something that says that once you make above, I forget what the dollar amount is, and
yeah.
you can change it, like your level of
75,000.
happiness doesn't improve at all. So, like, you would probably get as much satisfaction having $200,000, finding some sort of way to apply yourself.
This is early retirement money. This is financially
It's an investment in
being
the future.
independent. This is FU money. This is not having to stay at a job that I don't want to be at when I'd rather still be in Thailand. Not saying I don't love my job. Like, my job is great, but I'd rather be in Thailand. And why did I come back? Because I need an income.
Yeah, just saying the science says that once you make above a certain amount of money, your level of happiness does not improve. And, like, you have to be aware enough that you follow, like, the fire subreddits. All of the people that retire at like 50 go fucking mindless. Like, they lose their minds
they
because they
don't
don't
have
have a
hobbies.
purpose. Yeah.
But it doesn't say that, but that those communities, you're not saying that you can't work ever again.
No,
the
obviously
mindset
not.
is that you don't have to do it. Like, anything you're doing because it brings you joy and you feel passionate about it, and not because you have to in order to survive.
Very few people have passionate enough hobbies that will fill the space that meaningful work gives them.
I do.
Okay.
I'll read books all day and write my little projects and go hiking.
I bet you if you were as dedicated to that thing, you could probably get closer to 1 million faster than you're giving yourself credit for.
If I knew how to do that, if you know how to do that, tell me. I'll go do it.
Trying to do it right now.
I'm trying to too. I'm saying yes, I will pee in the gas station.
I wonder where you could live. I think you'd have to move for this to be successful. I think like wherever the highest concentration of gas stations is would be an intriguing, because the logistical part is the nightmare here.
Yeah.
I just
3 a.m. diarrhea.
Yeah.
I feel like you're telling me there's an easier way to make a meal in a year.
I just think if you're so dedicated that you are willing to drop a 3 a.m. diarrhea and a loaf and drug, like if you brought that level of dedication, it wouldn't take. We could put it into ChatGPT and be like, what are 15 ways I can make $1 million in the next year, and it would give us some pretty good ideas. All of them would be better than diarrheaing in a 7-Eleven.
I think this comes down to personal preference, because I don't see it as that big of a give. I don't see it as that bad. It doesn't sound that bad to me. It doesn't sound like that big of a sacrifice. And if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm guaranteed the 1 mil. Versus if I try X, Y, and Z, I might get it or I might fail.
The certainty, yeah.
This feels
I like
it
the
should be
certainty
a
of it.
Mr. Beast episode.
I'll take it. Call him. He's got the mill.
You know
I'll
what's
be your
funny?
experience.
Is I
experiment.
actually know someone who has his phone number.
Oh,
Tell
there you
him.
go.
Tell him that if he wants to make this a video, I will be the subject. I'll go do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm happy to. This seems so easy.
Like and
This
subscribe.
is a no-brainer. Can't believe everyone doesn't think this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, it's a no for me, dog.
Wow. It's like the easiest yes.
Good. Let's go with our Triple Crown. What was your answer?
Well, I mean, you guys both provided a lot of points that I kind of agreed with. The logistical part, I do pee at night. And, I think whoever sets this up, I think they must enjoy watching human suffering. It's like a Saw kind of like low stakes version of that. So, I mean, I would certainly try, but I guess I'd be more concerned about what the rules are, just to know that I wouldn't, 6 months in, if I did have diarrhea and couldn't get to a gas station, like,
Are you disqualified?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, all this terrible stuff that I've been doing for 6 months is just like worthless. I guess that is the risk.
I've also been to gas station bathrooms that aren't that bad.
It's true.
So like
They exist.
I need to know what gas station bathroom we're talking about here, because most of them are that bad. So
It's probably going to run the gamut.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're using a bidet, I mean, I understand what it is to hover now. Like when I go to bathrooms, because I don't like to sit on the seats. Or, I mean, the McDonald's this morning was nothing to report back about. There was some questionable things on the floor. There's a trash can in there, and people were like throwing used toilet paper on the ground, which I know is a cultural thing elsewhere. But I don't know. I would try it. I mean, if like you're saying, if someone was like, "This will happen if you do these things," I'd be like, "Yeah." I mean, that seems like intriguing experiment. Like it's. Again, I'd be curious about, because my first thought was like, move to New York City. But there's not bathrooms everywhere. And so I was like, well, maybe not, but I don't know. I would try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to lose except for sanity and convenience. But yeah, the logistical part's the thing that's really bothering me, because I'm like, I've certainly, as all human beings probably have, that moment where you just feel like you're going to be in the bathroom all night.
yeah.
And,
yeah.
That sucks. God, you would feel there'd be a lot of lows.
I don't know. I've done it unpaid.
That's true.
Like like all you got to do is live out of your car, which is already just like sometimes kind of fun by choice with the right circumstances.
Wait a second. Isn't your entire thesis here that you can save a bunch of money and live in a really nice house? Now you're talking about living in your car.
No,
in that
I'm
case, you
talking
don't
about
need the
in the
money to
future.
live that lifestyle.
Don't try to poke holes just because something contradicts. I specifically said in the beginning, I'm not talking about the person that takes that $650 and spends it right away. I'm talking about it in a way of,
It's an
I'm
investment.
putting that into the bank,
But if you're saying that living out of your car is fun, what do you need the mill for?
because it's not permanent.
What's not permanent?
Oh,
Living out of
yeah.
my car.
That would just be a
that's a
step
temporary
towards-
thing, you
Okay.
know?
Could be permanent for some
I
people.
mean,
it
you
is.
think through hiking is fun, but you live in a house.
Yeah. But I don't think, at no point do you think going to the bathroom in a gas station is more fun than not.
No, I didn't say that. I said living out of your car can sometimes be fun. And when I live out of my car, I like to park outside gas stations at night anyway, because there's light and there's visibility and there's another person inside and there's an open bathroom. So if I'm already used to doing that in that context, it doesn't affect me too much to do that for a year. I could travel the entire US and Canada and
That'd actually be
do a
kinda
bunch
cool.
of sightseeing and go to national parks, and at night just sleep at gas stations. And maybe not go to national parks, because if I had to pee during the day, I'd have to leave the national park and go to a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
But I could go to different cool towns. I could go on a small town tour of America for 365 days.
Rate all the
Between
bathrooms.
transit towns, diarrhea could strike.
Same thing as when I drove from New York here last week. You stop at a gas station.
But then you shit your pants. You don't lose $1 million if you do it that
I
way.
didn't shit my pants driving here. I just stopped at a gas station.
You weren't trying hard enough.
I think you're trying to get me to say I wouldn't do this. I would absolutely do this. I don't think it would be that hard.
Such
I think
a
it
good
would. I
candidate.
think it would be pretty easy.
Good.
Yeah, let's give her a challenge next time.
So
Yeah,
whoever has the mill, I'm here.
a lot of people do.
Call me.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. Triple crown of this one is mine. The triple crown of people you don't understand. I'll do my first pick, and that'll suffice as the example. And you will understand them, because I think you've become this person. I don't understand morning people. And I've had to become a morning person because of kids. I now just naturally wake up early, but I never have once been happy to be up early in the morning. Like if I'm awake before 7, it's just like I'm not ever feeling my best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you could say alcohol or not, even with a long bout of sobriety, waking up early in the morning is a bummer for me. I'm just one of those people. So I don't understand morning people.
Okay. Easy. Low hanging fruit. I don't understand the hometown people. Like the people from your hometown, and I'm not saying my specific hometown, but we're all nodding because we all know hometown people. The people from your hometown that you knew growing up with because they were born there just like you were, but then they didn't leave, and they've never felt a desire to leave, and they seem totally content in not having left, and they will just stay there. Like
The lack of adventure.
you don't want to see something different, or even like travel a little bit,
Yeah.
or see something like outside of what you know, tiny bit.
Don't they know how many gas station bathrooms are out there?
They don't.
I know. That's a sad thing.
I know.
Yeah. Missing all those opportunities to become instant millionaires.
Yeah, I don't understand that lack of wonder
Mm.
or contentment.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Your turn.
I think I don't think that I'm the most situationally aware person ever, but when I see people who don't seem to be more aware of their surroundings, like when I first got into Colorado, I was sleeping at a park, and I had pitched my tent on the other side of this like maintenance shed, and I thought it was a really good spot. And then a handful of minutes after like getting cozy and everything and being like, okay, I feel like this is safe, a cop actually came by, and I heard him like kind of slowly rolling up, and then I got out of my tent, and I was just kind of staring at him as he was like in his car on his phone, and I was just standing there. I was like, I'm about to have to explain myself, maybe get arrested a little bit, and I ended up having to wave. And he had no idea I was there. Like my tent was there, my bike was there. I was standing out of my tent, human being, flailing around, and he wasn't there for me. And I was like, how did you not see me? Like, I actually kind of love that he didn't see me, because I'm like, well, maybe most people don't, and maybe I can be even more stealthy than I thought. But yeah, when I feel like something is like blatantly obvious and people are completely unaware or oblivious to it, I'm like, what is that like? Like how? What bliss that must be.
I always think what bliss that must be.
Right. Yeah, we've eaten of the fruit, of knowledge.
Like that mindset of like the less someone knows about something, the more confident they are in doing it. You know that whole thought process?
Yeah. Also the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think. Yeah, right. It's so dumb you don't know how dumb you are.
Yeah.
Like, I think I love that.
Yeah. You get 2. This is a snake draft.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you want more time, we did put you on the spot. You got no prep time for this.
Let me think. What is something about people that I don't understand broadly?
We'll come back to you. Do you want extra time?
Well, I'll just do it real quick.
Okay.
Shopping. That's the thing that came to mind. Like, I like cafes, I like grocery stores, I like bike shops. I don't like shopping. I will do it. I have done it. But I don't get any real joy. It makes me feel a little anxious to go shopping.
Is it all forms of shopping? Like, can you get down on grocery shopping? Or
I love grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's just like the stores in Golden, like, unless I don't like browsing, maybe window shopping. Maybe that's what I don't like. It's just like, when I go to get something, and I know it's on my list. It's like a thing that I need or the service that I specifically want. But just carelessly spending time in shops and like picking up this and picking up that and just being like, oh, I want this. It's like, I don't understand that as much as like an activity per se.
I can definitely relate to that.
I feel like most people in this room probably do.
Yeah. If
no,
we
I
go
love
to
shopping.
like,
Well, to a degree. I mean, but continue.
I was just gonna say, if we go somewhere, Jenna wants to go in the main street and like shop around in towns. I'm always just like sitting on the bench, setting my fantasy football lineup. Like
Most
there's
men tend to
nothing in
be.
any of these shops that is gonna give me anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll give you a little adrenaline boost, a little,
Maybe that's
I-
what
little
it is.
dopamine, a little
Yeah.
I
serotonin.
understand the pull to shop. I just don't have it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I didn't. I love it. My next one will be people who enjoy talking about politics or debating politics.
I highly agree.
Because I could see how people could enjoy talking about something that they feel that they're very right in. Like like if you are very, very confident in something, I could see you enjoy talking about it. But I feel like we all know that no one goes into those conversations looking to change their mind. You know, like they're all just looking to have their turn to talk to prove you wrong. So I can't fathom where people find the joy in that dynamic.
I'm like 89% agree with you. It depends on who. Like I like those kinds of conversations with my friends because I know their emotional parameters, and it's not going to get to the point where like screaming, fighting, or like there's love lost at the end of it.
What's the goal though?
It's just like a debate, just like talking about what the best answers in life are and just testing each other's thoughts. And I actually have had my mind change on some stuff. And I'd say that I probably have influenced my friends' thinking, probably in the wrong direction. But like, I like it in a controlled setting where like I know people aren't going to get overly worked up about it. And sometimes I'll just take the devil's advocate approach. Like I'm saying something I don't believe in. I just like the sparring of it. But I don't ever engage on the internet. If I hardly knew somebody, I would not give them my view on X, Y, or Z because it is so religious for most people. And like, I don't like having it in that type of context.
Yeah. I just find it to be very stressful. And I think it brings out the worst in people.
I
Certainly
agree.
can. And all you have to do is go on the internet to prove that theory.
One thing I have thought of in that vein, because I definitely highly agree, the more charged something is, the less likely you are to like convert someone to your way of thinking. And also, if you're talking to someone who completely disagrees, like, do you really want someone who you probably view as like stupid to have your belief? Like, is that the kind of person you're trying to recruit? But one thought I've had about this is like, when you're talking to people, how many pieces of evidence do you require to change your mind, and how many do you provide when you're trying to change other people's mind? Like, because I think those numbers are probably pretty different, which says a lot to me about the whole enterprise of trying to do that to begin with. Like, because I don't have a firm number for what I require or what I give, but I think somewhere in there is some sort of indication that those conversations are really not going to go anywhere. No one's going to be happy, that's for sure. Like, is it true and is it helpful? Those are two things like from Buddhism that I have tried to take into like right speech. In political speech, it's just like, I've always liked philosophy way more than politics because it has stood the test of time more so.
Yeah.
But
I like that. My next one, I know we've talked about this on the podcast. People who don't have an internal dialogue, who aren't like constantly grappling with the their own devil's advocate or just the person naysaying them all day long. Like, it sounds liberating and amazing. I'm jealous of it, but I only learned in the last handful of years that is even a thing for some people, that they can get through the day without having the other voice chirping at them.
yeah, I find that so hard to believe. Like, I don't know how you would measure it, but I had a girlfriend who told me that was her experience, that there was like nothing going on. I would be like, "What's up?" She'd be like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? Nothing. Yeah.
There was a dude on the trail, Peter, shout out. And we just got to the conversation of like, what are you thinking about on trail? And he said nothing. Like, he's literally not thinking. Like, if he observes something, he'll see it and process that thought. But like, he's not ever just lost in a thought for the hell of it. And like, that's so I can't fathom that.
I can't turn off.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's been different ages, times, whatever in my life where I've like gone down that thought process of, can I not think? Can I try to not think? Like it feels like there's always a voice saying something. And like if I'm looking at that cup, my brain is saying that's a cup. It says the word Coke on it. The thing is black. Like now I'm looking next to it. Now that cup is next to it. Now I'm trying not to think, but I'm looking at this hat. Like it just continues to do that. And then I'll try actively, like, let me not think. And I'll see if I'm doing it. And then it's like, did we do it? Did we not think? I think that was 3 seconds. That might have been 3 seconds. Oh no, we're thinking again. Let's try not to think. Okay, we're not thinking. We're not thinking. Wait, we're thinking about not thinking. Like I can't get that to turn off.
You just defined meditation.
I've tried.
True.
No, but I can't get there because that continues to do that.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
And meditate. It's like the mind wanders 1,000 times. You bring it back 1,000 times.
How
But-
does someone just have nothing there?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know about the nothing. I don't know. It's
Like, you look at something and your brain says, that's a doorknob. That doorknob's on the door. The door is right there. There's
Right.
that outside. Oh, look, the sun's dark. Like it just like every time you look at something, your brain takes in what you're seeing and it says, that's a cork board. There's, postcards on it. Oh, that's one of the Katahdin. I remember being Katahdin. That's my postcard that I sent. Like no matter what you look, what am I going to do? Close my eyes? Okay, it's dark. I see like nothing. Like, okay, how do you turn that off?
I will say that long distance backpacking does give me brief glimpses into it, and something I have to work at consciously. But like, I always feel like I end a long hike with a much clearer state of mind where I can be present. And like, if somebody comes into the room, I'm looking them in the eyes and like my soul is receptive to what they're doing, as opposed to like thinking about the last interaction that I had or the next thing that I'm going to say or like my to-do list. Like that's where my brain is most of the time. And I like being in nature because I feel like I can get tiny tastes of just being like completely present.
Like I'll listen to podcasts because then I'm listening, and then I'm not as much. I'm not thinking as much because I'm listening. So the words in my
Occupies
head,
that.
instead of being like the hat is gray, the water bottle's blue, it's on a table on a coaster, my head is taking, she's saying this and she's talking about this and I'm listening to and it's just doing that cycle with the listening. But it's freaking chaos up there, man.
Yeah. I also think our current lifestyle kind of conditions us to operate that way.
Yeah, but like we're a table of people who have spent months and months outdoors sleeping. Like what happens to people that aren't us? That don't have as much respite as we have.
Yeah. But I do think the fact that we don't ever have to be bored and most people are never bored, I think boredom can grant you sort of that spiritual nirvana in glimpses. You're never just going to like turn the voice off and then like you're free of it. But I think you can get tastes of it. And if like you're always listening to a podcast or I'm always scrolling X or whatever it might be, you're training your brain to like constantly be looking for that fix. And you're not setting your neurons to do anything else, I guess.
Yeah, to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, what the internal voice like relationship with it was like hundreds of years ago. I wonder if I'm sure people wrote about it, the monks and stuff like that, when they weren't brewing beer or whatever. Like, I think the voice has got to be worse now than ever for sure.
Yeah.
It's waiting for stimulation, waiting to talk all the time.
Once we all have AI in our brains,
Can't wait.
it will be nice for the noise canceling feature. Or like noise canceling headphones, you can click that button and it turns off all the outside noise. I want, when the day happens where it's inevitable, we all have AI in our brains, I want to be able to push that button and it turns down the noise and the thoughts. And I don't know how it probably just targets the part of your brain that doesn't shut up. But man, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And quiet.
Yeah. My last one. I have a lot of food related ones here. I'm going to go with people who don't like dogs.
Ooh, animals was on my list.
Yeah. Some animals I can get on board with. Like, if you don't like ostriches, I'm in your fan club. But the dogs one is always tripping me up. And I know a few people who are like, when a dog's around, it's dirty and it's going to slobber on them, or it's not even always associated with a fear. That makes sense. Like if you were bit by a dog as a young kid, like I think that makes a lot more sense to me. But yeah, just the people who don't have love for dogs.
I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Did you do three? No, you got one more.
I got one more. Sorry, I'm trying to work out this little burp.
Perfect.
Okay, my third one. People I don't understand. Anyone who's like this is like a lot of people. My name is so and so. My life passion is X, and I've focused the past 30 years on doing Y around X. And I am like how you were like, I'm a lifelong cyclist, but I don't want to be defined as a cyclist. Like, I don't think I've ever or will ever be someone who will be content with just one thing. Like, I don't understand going to college for a degree in one thing and then doing that for the rest of your workable years and then retiring, because it's like, sure, when I'm 18 I might be interested in this, and then I might do it for 5, 7, 10 years and like feel satisfied in my understanding of that, and something else might pique my interest, and then I might go and be interested in that for a while, and then something else might pique my interest, and like I might want to grow those skills, and then I'll feel satisfied in those skills, and then I might want to work on other skills. And I think there's so much like room for growth and well-roundedness, and like people wouldn't get bored in life and like wouldn't have nothing to do or be bored if they were more curious about like, oh, I don't know how to sew, but I have all this free time and like I need to sew this thing. So maybe now I'll learn how to do this. And maybe once I feel satisfied in that, I'll go try this woodworking thing. And then when I've done that, like maybe I haven't done customer service for MailChimp for a while, but maybe I would like to go like try talking to people for a while and work on those skills. And I feel like you become so much more of a well-rounded person when you can refine all these different skills. And I don't think I have the brain that understands the person that was born and just knew they wanted to be a teacher and goes to school to be a teacher and goes into a classroom and teaches for 40 years and then retires and thinks, man, I loved being a teacher. And it's just like, did it never get repetitive or boring, or did you never like feel like I know enough about this now where now something else is catching my attention? I don't understand the people that are truly passionate on one thing that then defines them and feel content and satisfied and fulfilled with it.
That's another one where I'm jealous of that person. Like if you find your calling at 18 and you can do that for 40 years, like
fuck you.
That's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice.
That like I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
And you're just happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some crossover with the internal voice to maybe less loud voice of not derision, but like those it just maybe inside the head is like what you see is what you get. Maybe there's not a lot of internal dialogue there to challenge. It's hard to fathom that. I feel like most people are pretty much the same, but maybe they're not.
Well, like good for them. Like someone who's like so like this is my life's work, like freaking Jane Goodall and her chimps, you know, like good for you.
Yeah.
I'm envious. You're gonna be so fulfilled when the day comes and you look back on stuff and you're like, man, this was my purpose and I knew it. Like how do you just like you're under 18 and you already know your life's purpose and then you do it and you're like, wow, I didn't make the wrong choice. I guessed correctly and that was right. And I like what?
Yeah. No, that sounds very nice.
When you say it like that, it's like, yeah, okay, that happens.
Yeah.
There's so many people doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that'd be very good. My mom has a little bit of that. Her parents got divorced and she's been a marriage therapist pretty much since that exact moment. She obviously didn't happen right away, but she's now in her 70s and still doing it and she doesn't have to and she loves it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
I'm highlighting a book about canning because I'm learning about the difference between like water canning and pressure canning and the acidic levels and like what fuck do I need to know about canning for, you know? But my brain one day was like, here's an interesting thing you know nothing about. Let's dive down it.
Yeah.
And if I was super passionate about the thing I was passionate about when I was 16, my brain would probably never have time for these thoughts.
I'd be a baseball player.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm lacking is talent, unfortunately.
So don't understand them.
Yeah. Hyperfixation. Yeah. Other people that I don't understand. I tried to think about this while you were talking, while still listening, so that was difficult. God, what don't I understand about people? Well, I guess it's like a momentum thing maybe, but you know, when people say, as we've probably all encountered when they come up to us when we're doing like a trail or something, they're like, I wish I had done that in my life at some point. I guess, you know, I always try to be encouraging and be like, well, you still can, you know, I tell them about Nimble Will Nomad and like, you know, the opportunities there and your body will respond really quickly. It's probably not in as bad of shape as you think. But yeah, this kind of piggybacking off some of the themes of yours, which I actually think all of yours kind of relate to the same kind of person, someone from the hometown, no internal voice, and also is like passionate about something that they've been doing the whole time. You know, it's like you're kind of describing a very specific type of person that I can almost see in my head. But yeah, people, if you have ever had an inclination to do something and just not done it, like that's always been an interesting thing to me, because I'm just like, well, what it goes to that internal voice, I guess, like what are the demons that have prevented you from doing this? Like if this actually does have any appeal to you, you should totally do it. I've always thought that you should like start every trail or whatever as single and free as possible. Like don't have a relationship on the side that you're trying to keep going if possible. Start with a clear canvas. But yeah, I don't know. All of the paralysis by analysis that people can have, like even if you were able to evaluate everything that could happen and even do it chronologically and like get a report at the beginning of the day, like these will be your struggles. Like, do you still want to proceed? Like I don't know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but yeah, I guess just do it. Whatever. Shia LaBeouf.
The all talk people.
Well,
people that will talk about I want to do this, but they'll never take the action to.
I'm considering those people slightly differently. I'm thinking of like someone sweet who's just like, I always wanted to do the Appalachian Trail, and I'm like, well, you totally should. Like, I don't know what's going on in your life, and I'm sure there's some things you got to get in order. But if this has ever appealed to you at all, or anything else, it's like you should try that thing. You know, like there's really. That critical voice in your head is really the only barrier to entry, because ultimately people really don't care about what you do. I mean, within a spectrum of acceptable societal things, and again, like failing is actually a lot of really good data. So yeah, I don't understand why. I guess as soon as you jump in real deep, at least once, I think you kind of realize, like getting tattoos and stuff too, like people who, maybe that's an even better one, like people who think that they might want to get a tattoo one day. I'm just like, you should just do it. Like get the stupidest tattoo you can and break through that barrier of whatever you're thinking, like you got to get the perfect tattoo or whatever the first time. Get the worst one you can imagine, within reason. I can think of a lot of really bad tattoos.
See, but yours has a lot of themes too, because this goes back to your themes of your podcast. Just put stuff out there. Don't wait for it to be perfect.
Right.
Just get the tattoo. Don't wait for it to be perfect.
Yeah.
Those are your themes.
I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think after you said that about mine, maybe my overall theme is I don't understand the content.
Yeah. I think that's probably true. I wish I'd been recording this because I could have. This is crazy. Just as a quick.
We are recording this.
Okay. Oh, well, that's true. Oh my God. Well, I'll have to take the transcript of this. Oh yeah, that's true. We are recording this. That's like why we're here.
I hate to break it to you.
That's a good point. Yeah, over my head. There is now a service that will actually take transcripts and make a podcast out of them, where you have these two disembodied voices talking about the themes. I've done this with my own transcripts and stuff, and you have a male voice and a female voice. And they keep referring to you as the source, and it'll generate a 10-minute just off the fly kind of podcast about whatever you feed it, and it's one of the craziest things I've seen.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Kind of it might interfere with your industry a little bit.
No, not even from that standpoint. Just like the robots making. I don't know how I feel about the robots making art in general.
Yeah,
it feels wrong. Feels dirty to me.
We've made them in our image. I mean,
yeah.
it when you're listening to it, I mean, for me personally, I'm biased. Obviously, I love it, but it's very convincing. The Turing test in that respect for me has been passed. Although broadly speaking, I don't think it has. But anyway, yeah, that I'll get back to you guys on that. I'm trying to figure out how to share it.
Good, that's fun. Any honorable mentions?
Majority of people.
Yeah, I would also like to mention the majority of people.
Yeah.
Just in general. In general,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are people that don't have a sweet tooth. That one's really fucked up for me.
It's Garrett.
Really?
Yeah, he's like never down the split snack.
Damn.
Huh.
I mean, I understand not eating dessert for other reasons,
right?
But like the craving for me is always very strong.
Yeah, chocolate's hard to deny.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it's man. I was jonesing for a ginger chocolate bar last night. Couldn't find it. Natural Grocer had already closed. It was real sad.
Do you think that was subliminal because you were coming on this podcast? You're craving ginger.
It could be the ginger connection.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Mailbag.
Hey guys, I am somehow only discovering you guys very, very recently, but have been addicted and listening nonstop like every day. Just wanted to say I love the show. I was introduced to backpacking first in terms of travel, so I have been a self-identifying backpacker for years now, having been on a budget traveling with a 70-liter on my back for about 50 countries now. I spend like 4 months a year out of the country and have been ingrained in this lifestyle for years now. Upon listening to you guys, plus wanting to embark on through hiking as a method of travel and connection as a journey, I am aiming to hit the Camino this coming March to celebrate my quarter-life crisis, with the goal to inevitably hit the AT in the next year or two with my Aussie hashtag Harper's cousin. Not to make this such an insufferably long comment, but I just wanted to mention how the idea of the bubble is like so damn important, especially when it comes to feeling motivated to reach your most daunting dreams and goals, and as a solo backpacker in the travel sense for a while. I am all too familiar with people at home saying why I can't imagine, why so long, I can never, yada, yada, yada. And so for my goals of through hiking and pursuing the Triple Crown and other long distance trails, the people in my circle at home say the same thing. You can't, why, etc. And yet I want to. Don't want to explain it to someone who can't understand and will definitely. So listening to you guys frequently makes it feel like I am already in the bubble. Hearing these convos makes it sound normal and makes the motivation easy to maintain. I don't have to give myself reasons why anymore, just cuz. So shout out to the bubble and the way y'all somehow convey and relate or recreate that bubble in the real world, because it means a lot to feel surrounded by the normalization of it. Also, shout out to your guys' long style format, lack of refinement, parentheses compliment, general cursing, and realist combo stuff, and even the goofy combo games that make it feel like this is got to be how the trail combos go. Anyway, love the show. Great inspo, great combo, great topics, and guests. Will listen forever. LOL, Dakota.
Nice.
Thanks, Dakota.
That was great.
That was really nice.
Kind of full circle with getting over that fear of failure.
Totally.
Is being able to be inside the conversation makes that process easier.
Yep.
Love that. 5-star review. This is from, I don't know. It doesn't say on this one. Let's see. I could probably take it up. Sorry to whoever wrote this because I don't see it on my screenshot here. Epic inspiration. Been listening since Daniel, who wrote Crunch. Look forward to every Monday and every new episode. Mega Man was another fantastic episode. He was an awesome guest. I cried when he mentioned finding his spirituality in the way that he did. Your show has been an inspiration to me. After losing our daughter, I've been planning to hike the JMT for the purpose of getting everything inside out. After 2 hip replacements, I feel like I can walk forever, when for almost 15 years, I couldn't hardly walk at all. Once wanted to do the PCT, but as I'm approaching 64, new to this, I'll start with the JMT. Writing a book along the way about some crazy guy losing a daughter, gaining inspiration and continuous need to find the next challenge/goal. Divine appointment finding, your channel. Thank you, from someone. We'll take that up.
Yeah, we're fine too. Thanks for writing that. That was nice.
You guys make small talk. I want to find who wrote that.
Okay. JMT sounds like a great place to start. And I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter. And doesn't mean you can't do the PCT, especially because you have the right mindset, which is starting with the JMT. Yes, start that part because you know there's more to come.
That's from Kibbles.
Kibbles. Well, good luck, Kibbles.
I think outliving your kid's probably the worst possible hand that could be dealt. So condolences to you, Kibbles. Thank you to our Chuck Norris Award winners on Patreon. That is Alex and Misty with Navigators Crafting, Andrew, Austin McDaniel, Bill Jensen, Brad and Blair from 13 Adventures, Brian Alsop,
Tables.
Carl Hood, Christopher Marshburn, Clint Sittler, Coach from Marine Outdoors, Eric Casper,
Friendly Ghost.
Eric Hoffman, Ethan Harwell Dunn, Jillian Daniels, Go Bills,
Go Bills.
Greg Knight, Greg Martin, Griffin, Hey, would you bring me a beer? Haley Buckingham,
Dallas.
Matt from Gilbert, Arizona, Patrick Ciancialo, Rebecca Braveheart, Rural Juror, Sawyer Products, Spam, the St. Louis Shaman, Timothy Hahn,
Solo.
and Tracy Trigger. Thanks to our guy Paulie at Old Man Murph's Coffee Roasters. Go to ommcr.com. Get yourself some delicious beans. You can follow us on social at Backpacker Radio on Instagram and TikTok at Backpacker Pod on X, Facebook.com/Backpacker Radio. You can follow Moron.
Yes, bookofmoron.podbean.com, all the appropriate links. And thank you both so much for having me.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah.
You can follow Chance.
Juliana_Chauncey on Instagram, Juliana Chauncey on YouTube. You can get my book, Hiking from Home, a long-distance hiking guide for family and friends, on Amazon.
Appalachian Trials and Pacific Crest Trials are my books. Subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on YouTube.
Hi, Internet.
2 shout-outs one day. And that is it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening, and happy hiking.
Bye.
Bye.
It's interesting, our thing, isn't it? To be in someone's mind, to have complete control. It's like the thrill of being near the executioner's switch. Knowing that at any moment, you could throw it. But knowing you never will. But you could. Never isn't the right word, because I could. And I might. I probably will.
Will you sit down, please?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. That make you nervous? Not my intention.